Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Good morning, everybody.
All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, KLZ 560. And we got a great show in store for you today, so hope you're listening. And if you've got any questions, we're here to answer them. Ken Rackley will join me here in just a few minutes. He's running a couple of minutes late, but we'll get him in studio from TuneTech over here in the Aurora area. But if you've got anything at all you want to talk about, now's your chance. 303-477-5600. Write that number down, put it in your phone, store it in there, and you can call us at any time. You can also find us on drive-radio.com. You can actually go to that website, our website, I should say. Pop in there whatever question you've got. We'll get it right away. You can send me emails directly, which I know a lot of you do, and I appreciate that. It's John, John, at drive-radio.com. If you'd like to email us even during the show, we'll get those questions on air, and it makes it really easy for us to answer. And I know a lot of you guys are out running around doing different things on these Saturdays, and if you've got a question you want to ask via email, feel free to do so. Again, it's John, John, at drive-radio.com. All right, a special announcement real quick. This comes from Dell, American Legion Riders Post 1, second annual Chasing the Pig Barbecue. There's also a motorcycle and car show that is May 31st. That will be Sunday, I believe. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monaco and Evans at the old Kmart. I'll put that up on our Facebook page so you've actually, got some reference there. So I'll do that during the week this week. But there's a motorcycle and car show May 31st, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monaco and Evans at the old Kmart. And a lot of you send me these type of announcements. If there's anything like this you'd like me to announce, please let me know. Send me an email. That's the best way to do it. You can leave me a message here with Larry, and we can do it that way also. But if you can send me an email, that's the best way for me to get it up and get that message out. And just, again, go to drive-radio.com, and I'll get that information put up for you. And that way we can let everybody else know what's going on, and we'd appreciate that. We've also got a special event coming up on May the 30th. So one day before that, that'll be at Gino's Auto Service at Bowles and Platte Canyon. We'll have a big open house there. We'll have the radio show there. We'll have some giveaways. It'll be a great time, a great day, and come out and see Steve's new place and all the remodeling that he's done. So that'll be on May the 30th. So basically 2 Saturdays from now, we'll actually be out at Gino's on site. Jerry and Greeley, you're first today on Drive Radio. What's going on?
Well, a friend of mine is seeking advice on the purchase of a used pickup truck.
Okay.
He's one of these guys who wants to climb all the 14,000-foot mountains. So
got it.
He needs something to get him to the trailheads. And he's thinking about a smaller pickup. He's got a maximum budget of about $20,000. And he was considering getting even a Ford Ranger and then lifting it, and I was trying to convince him that a lot of things can go wrong on a modification like that, and that he might be better off to get a Tacoma with a off-road package. But I wonder if there were other options you might consider.
There really is. There's a ton. First thing that he has to determine is how much heavy off-roading is he going to have to do to actually get where he's going? In other words, if he's going to have to go do a lot of rough four-wheeling to get where he's at, quite honestly, he's probably better off to go buy, and he's in the price range where he could do this. He could go buy a Jeep Rubicon Wrangler that really has everything in it already ready to go. It's already got the ground clearance he needs. He wouldn't have to spend any extra money. Off he goes. The plus side to that is, if he got it with a hardtop, fully lockable. You wouldn't have to worry about doing a camper shell or a bed cover or anything like that on the pickup truck. The downside is you lose what you could throw in the back of a pickup as far as, gear and firewood and all those sorts of things on down the road. Your point about the lift kit is true, depending upon the kit you use. There are some really good, solid, brand A type lift kits that work really, really well, where if they're done properly, installed properly, he wouldn't have any issues. I mean, I did that for, really 25 years of my life. If you do them correctly, it's not a problem. The key is doing them correctly.
Yeah. I used to be in a couple of four-wheel drive clubs, and we did organized events, and it was amazing how often things weren't done correctly.
Yep. That's the whole key to it. And with what you just said, Jerry, is also true. If you do it correctly, it's expensive. That's why a lot of them don't get done correctly, is because the cheap way is to cut corners and do it the cheap way. And unfortunately, there's even guys in the industry that own stores that'll cut corners and do it the cheap way. We never would do that, but probably lost some sales over the years in not doing that. But that's just how we did it.
Yeah. He's got his heart set on a pickup.
Okay.
And I don't know. Do you have opinions on Frontiers or S10s?
I would probably stay away from, if he's going to do any kind of lifting, I would probably stay away from the S10s, and I would even stay away from a Ranger if he's planning on doing any kind of a lift. The plus side to the Tacomas, there's a gazillion lift kits out there. In fact, there's a company even here in town over in Thornton that actually makes kits for them. Very, very good, solid kits. He can go right over there and buy them right from that company. If you emailed me, I could give you all of their. In fact, I need to get them as a sponsor. I have to think about that now that you mentioned that. But I'll give you, if you email me, I can give you the information on where to actually go buy those kits. That's the plus side to the Toyota, is they're very easy to do what I just said. They're very easy to lift, very reliable. And if he bought one with the TRD package on it, he may not have to do a whole lot to it. The key is going to be finding a good, clean one at that $20K price.
I see. Yeah, that's my understanding, was that the Toyotas with the off-road package pretty much don't need to do much to them.
And the Frontier is the same situation. The key to the Frontiers is they're not as easy to lift if he decides to put a bigger tire and wheel package on it.
And so is $20,000 realistic?
Yep, it is. No, yeah, you can do it. In fact, what I would recommend is call Isaac Bouchard, our broker, tell him what you're looking for, or have him call him directly, tell him what, Isaac can go out, then find that vehicle and get him all fixed up, handled, and, make sure that the vehicle is in good shape. I'm going to talk. It's really interesting that you're the first call, and I did not set this up, folks. Jerry was not, notified ahead of this show. I'm going to talk about buying and selling new and used cars, mainly used cars today, Jerry, and what you need to look for, how you need to do it, and so on. So it's you just started off our topic today perfectly.
Well, good.
And Isaac's number, by the way, if you want it, is 303-475-1462, and he's listed on our website. Just go to drive-radio.com.
All righty. Are there any pickups you would definitely steer away from?
If he's gonna lift it and do anything along those lines, and he wants to do it as inexpensively as possible, I think his only choice is Toyota. The reason I say that is all of the independent front ends on the rest of the vehicles that we've mentioned make it really, really expensive to do what he's going to try to do.
I see.
He can do it the cheapest on the Toyota.
Well, I very much appreciate the advice.
You're very welcome, Jerry. I appreciate you calling in. That's what we're here for. So never a dull moment on Drive Radio. Question of the day. Larry came up with this one. So you can also call in with this. Steve, I'll be right with you. Don't go away. The worst ticket you ever received that you didn't deserve. Key phrase at the end. I want to know the worst ticket you ever received that you did not deserve. So give us a story as to, because Memorial Day is coming up. We all know that they're going to be looking for certain things. In fact, we talked earlier in the past about this particular coming weekend. Seatbelt laws will be strictly enforced. So give me something that you've actually been ticketed for that you didn't deserve. What's the worst ticket you ever got that you didn't deserve? 303-477-5600. Steve and Evans, you're up next. What's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
We're doing great, Steve. Thanks for calling.
Hey, John, I got a question, and I don't know if I'm missing something on this. My son's got a 69 Chevelle with a big block, 396.
Okay.
He didn't have any oil pressure in it. He picked it up because he was transferred to Carolina. But anyway, it started rattling on top. The lifters were getting oil and stuff, so he had to pay a toll to get it back to his house. But he's trying to get the pan off, and he put a mechanical gauge on it, to see if there's any oil pressure. And of course, there wasn't. I guess there was nothing coming out of that.
So did he pull the distributor yet to make sure that he didn't strip
that's
something
what
there?
I told him. I was thinking maybe that rod might have broke.
Right. And those had also this goofy little plastic bushing, and in the high performance world, they made an aluminum bushing you could use, but originally they had a little plastic bushing that held all that in, and sometimes that could break.
You mean the one that goes to the pump?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But of course, that's internal. That's inside there.
Yeah,
right?
you'd still have to pull the pump, but you could at least get an idea of what you're up against, before you actually get into it.
Can you pull that distributor out and just pull that? Of course, you couldn't pull that rod up from the top, could you?
Yeah, you can get the rod up from the top, but you can't get let me think. No, you can't get the rod up from the top. Well, if the bushing's broken, yeah, you could get it up from the top.
Yeah, then it would come up, but then you'd have to still replace that.
Correct.
pump.
You still got to pull the pan to actually get in there and replace that.
Well, I guess my question is, can he get that pan off without pulling that engine?
He's got to raise the engine up to at least get it away from the cross member enough to pull it.
John, he's tried that. He said 2 or 3 inches, and he's something's hanging up on it. I don't know what it's the baffle or the pump or what.
Well, it could be either or. They got to come up quite a ways. I mean, you technically don't have to pull the engine, but how many? Here's the first question: what's the car like condition wise? I mean, is it a collector's? I mean, is it really nice?
It's pretty decent. Need some work here and there, the usual stuff, but nothing, that's...
Well, is it worthwhile him pulling the engine and then going ahead and sealing up everything that's there? Go ahead and, pop new freeze plugs in it while it's out, seal the valve covers, the timing cover, put a rear main in it, do the whole 9 yards. If it is, it might be worth pulling the engine just to go through all of that and then put it back in. It's not that big a deal to pull it.
I think he's had that engine gone through, though. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's had I don't know if you know about this, and I'm not familiar with it. I'm kind of old school, but he's had an overdrive put in it.
Okay.
It's not a 5-speed transmission. It's just something that goes on the back.
Yep.
Of the Have you seen them?
Oh yeah, they made those, and they've been made over the years, depending upon the brand that he bought. Gear vendors, or there's multiple different people that have made overdrives over the years, depending upon which one he bought. But that's not uncommon at all.
Oh, and the thing is, I didn't know if you had to pull the transmission out to get that pan to come back a little more.
No, you wouldn't have to pull the tranny. You'd want to. At this point, it sounds like he's not that far. If he's got the engine up that far, all he needs to do is really unhook the rest of his electrical harness, take his bell housing bolts out, keep the tranny jacked up, and yank the motor out.
Well, see, the trouble with that bell housing is it's like an adapter they put on there. It's a solid piece in back of the block there, I guess. Did
they change the tranny out from the original tranny?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. It looks like a regular 4-speed with just that overdrive added on to it. He said he had to modify the drive shaft. Drive shaft would
be modified, but he should just be able to remove the bell housing bolts from the block and pull the motor. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Those are pretty simple.
You mean don't take the flywheel or not? Of course you wouldn't.
No, you don't. If it's a standard transmission, you'll have to. The clutch and everything will just come right out. It'll just be one assembly that you just pull out, and it should just come right out.
Okay.
You should be able to just take the six bolts on a Chevy. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty simple. I didn't even think about that. I mean, and then what? Backing the housing away.
Yep.
And then that would let the pan come back a little bit further.
Right.
Okay. All right. So then, he was just trying to figure out a way, because this is his first time doing this.
Got it. Those are really, really tight. I mean, you've got to have them either, about halfway out of the chassis and at that point, truthfully, it's as easy to go ahead and pull the whole thing and do it out of the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it out of the engine compartment is what I meant to say.
He's had to undo the right hitter and all that.
Yeah. Might as well pull it at this point.
Yeah, I know, but he's almost there, he took some pictures and sent it to me, and it looks like, the front's clear. I thought you had to have the number one piston in a certain position, like TPC.
Nah, it won't matter. Not on that.
I didn't know if them counterweights would interfere.
Nope. Not on a Chevy. It won't be a problem that way. He's hanging up on the splash shield and all that as much as he is anything.
Okay, the pickup tube probably down there or something.
Yep, because the distributor's way in the back on a Chevy.
Yep.
Now, is it common for them pumps to go bad?
If they rebuilt the motor and put the old plastic bushing back in it, absolutely. That's why all the high performance motors use a bronze bushing.
Yep.
The pump probably is not bad. It probably broke that bushing.
Yeah, because it's just mechanical. There's just a couple gears in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, on a Chevy, it's uncommon for a Chevy to lose an oil pump.
Yeah, the only thing, and on a rebuilt, you wouldn't have this issue, but if it sucked up something into the past the screen and locked up the pump, but that's really rare
for that to happen.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe the pickup tube came off, but just from looking at the pictures,
they're brazed on. That doesn't happen very often either.
Oh, okay. I thought they were pressed in or something.
No, most of them have a little braze on them. If the guy that rebuilt it correctly did it right, they typically have got a spot weld or a braze to keep that tube from coming out.
Yeah,
I see.
Now, again, I don't know who rebuilt it and what they did, so it could still have the plastic bushing. It could still have the pressed-in pickup tube. Who knows?
Yeah.
Huh.
And if it's any kind of performance pump, of course, it's going to break that plastic
right off. That's why you use the bronze bushing.
Yep.
It looks just like, of course, I don't know, because it looks just like a stock pump to me. You know, it don't look like not high performance, but you can't really tell.
It's hard to, and it's hard to tell. And what I didn't mean that right. What I said is, you typically on a high performance, you use a bronze gear on the bottom of the distributor itself with the aluminum or the steel sleeve that the collar that goes between that and the pump rod.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's possible that plastic could have broke off.
Very possible.
Yeah, because there's nothing to keep those things from spreading, and plastic is just to keep the shaft in there if you pull the distributor out.
And over the years, if they get brittle and hard and hot and so on, it's very possible.
Yeah, and the way they're designed, they're just not designed to have any force on them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that a slot inside that pump?
It is.
Where that
shaft,
where they go together.
Shaft fits into, right?
Yep, sure is.
So even if that collar broke, would that still let that thing?
Yes, it would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yes, they come out enough to where it won't engage.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Of course, you got no oil pressure.
Correct.
Breaks one of the ears off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, John, you guys, I appreciate.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much, Steve.
I don't know if I have anything on you on that. Not deserving a ticket. I probably deserved every one I
got. Well, some are probably going to call in and say that, but there'll be some that maybe have different stories. Steve, appreciate it very much. Thanks for the phone call. Mark and Matt, hang with us. Don't go away. Matt's actually going to come on and talk about Tire Rack. They had a really big event they just did here recently, so we'll talk to Matt here in just a minute. We'll get him first. Mark, you've got a transmission question. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right parts store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to ColoradoSelect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
Your car's AC is not going to fail on a nice day. Your car's AC will fail when you need it most, on the hottest, most miserable day of the year. You can take your chances and maybe it'll get you through the summer, but why risk it? Call Larry's Automotive and have their ASE certified technicians check your AC system to make sure you have a full charge of coolant without any leaks. If you do need repairs, it'll be better to have the work done now by a Colorado Select shop that you know you can trust to get it done right. So don't wait until you have hot air blowing in your face when it's 100 degrees outside. Stay cool. Call Larry's today and make an appointment. 303-427-2108. That number again is 303-427-2108. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Ken Rackley is the other voice you heard just a moment ago from TuneTech over in Aurora. But let's get right to Matt from Tire Rack. So, Matt, welcome to Drive Radio. How's it going today?
Good morning, John. Great. And yourself?
I'm doing very well. You guys just had a really great event. I did some research on it and read up about it. One Lap America. Explain what that was, and I assume you're going to do it again.
Well, yes. The Tire Rack One Lap of America really is the brainchild going back to, if we all remember when we were younger, Cannonball Run.
Yes, I do.
Brock Yates' great race across the country. Well, this is the evolution of that. It's now actually headed up by Brock Yates Jr., Brock's son, and it is the waffle version of the great Cannonball. And essentially, drivers, teams, start here at the Tire Rack in South Bend, Indiana, at our headquarters building, and circuit around the country, a loop to various racetracks around the country. And in a week, this year they covered 3,245 transit miles, plus 18 different events on tracks, and that's where they score their points, is on the tracks.
Got it. So it's not so much on how fast they go from point A to point B, but what they do on the track itself.
Absolutely.
But the cars have to be driven to the track.
The car you drive at the track is a car that has to get you from track to track.
Got it.
And you're really only allowed one set of tires to do the whole thing. So
really? Okay.
You got to manage those tires.
That's I was going to ask how some of the rules worked as far as how that all went. Of course, Cannonball Run, the old days, it was more of, how fast could you go from, one end to the other and break all the laws in the process. In this case, I'm assuming that, you're trying to do everything possible to keep, safe and keep the law intact and so on, going from point A to point B. But once they get to the track, then they really have to manage what they're doing on the track itself to not eat up a set of tires.
Absolutely. And it's not just managing the tires, which is very, very important for them, but managing the vehicle and the personnel. I mean, the team that drives the cars, the team that drives it at the track, and they have to make those transits. And as you can imagine, those transits typically happen at night, and their nights can be rather short, and they get a little sleep deprived. But, the interesting thing is it's very, very hard on the vehicles. Just the transition from track to road, and the amount of, they drive these cars extremely hard on the tracks. And this year it showed up. We started with 59 vehicles, and actually only 14 didn't finish the event, which actually was a fairly high rate of attrition. But this is an event that happens every year, first week of May, a time we select because the weather's good enough, and also it's before people, the roads get filled with people on vacation.
Exactly. No, that's a great. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't know much about it until one of your, marketing folks contacted me and said, "Hey, is this something you guys would like to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. This is fantastic." As we get into next year, what I'd really like to do is stay in contact throughout the year, figure out what's going on, talk a little bit more about it, and then maybe even on the actual weekend that you guys have things going on, get you back on and talk about the different things that are happening. You were actually out at High Plains Raceway, which is here in Colorado. We could have easily gone out and even done the radio show from there. So maybe next year we'll talk a little bit more in advance and see what we can do to help you out on that end of things.
Absolutely. Well, this year, gosh, we had two events out at High Plains on May 4th, and then they did a passage control at our distribution center there in Denver.
Got it.
Stopped there, had dinner, and then actually went down, and on the 5th of May, we're in Pueblo and drove down there at the Speedway.
Very, very cool. So talk about Tire Rack for a minute. We do not have a tire sponsor on Drive Radio. In fact, maybe you and I can get together at some point and talk a little bit about that, because we've got lots of folks out there listening that all are driving and need tires. So talk about Tire Rack, what you guys can do for our customers, or our listeners, I should say, your customers, and how that works.
Absolutely. Tire Rack has been in the tire business for 35 years, and so many people know us as TireRack.com as an online source, but really we carry 20 major brands of tires, and in addition to that, aftermarket wheels and suspension components, brake components. But really our business started focused on the enthusiast, and it's really grown from there to where we really, in these brands of tire that we carry every tire they have. Our value add, besides being able to get you the tire, if it's available anywhere in the United States, we have it in stock at one of our distribution centers, of which I mentioned one we just opened less than a year ago right there in Denver. We also then test and evaluate the tires. And the reason we do that is so that we understand the tires. The manufacturers all tell you their tire is the greatest and best tire out there. But we try to understand the tire because there is no perfect tire for a vehicle. There's a right tire for the vehicle, the person that drives the vehicle, and the roads they drive on. And that's why we do this testing. And that information is available on our website. If you visit TireRack.com, you can look at our testing, which is actually the evaluation of the tire at its birth, shall we say. And then we have consumer reviews that give you a lot of information from consumers over the life of the tire.
I've read some of those. So, you guys have a great website. And we've recommended folks to, go see you guys over the years. So, yeah, again, let's get together after this, talk about that. Maybe we can get something where we can actually get you some more business and have a team effort here when it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day, Matt, to come on with us. Matt's, again, the Tire Rack Senior VP. Appreciate you coming on with us. And as we go through the rest of the year, again, keep in touch. I want to know more about the next race and when that comes about. And so last question, who won this year's race?
Well, this year was won by a Nissan GTR. Okay. Those seem to have become the car to beat. And it was a car that had a technician with it that would tune the vehicle's horsepower to the facility. And there was rumors that they were pulling well over 1,000 horsepower when they were at the drag strip in that vehicle.
Wow. So wow. And that's a question where you have to ask, how'd they keep tires on it with all of that horsepower?
Well, they did a great job of keeping tires on it. I mean, the hard part is keeping those vehicles together and all those components working.
Yeah. No, hey, Matt, really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And again, Matt from Tire Rack, we'll have you back in the future. How's that sound?
Absolutely. Sounds great.
All right, Matt. Appreciate it very much. Again, thanks to Matt for taking time out of his day. That was actually I was looking forward to that interview, so it's a lot of fun. And you can find out more about that. Just Google up One Lap of America. It'll come right up. It's really a cool thing. It's kind of a retake of the Cannonball Run that they used to do years ago when we were all kids. And there's a movie about that, actually. It was kind of a cool movie. In fact, I got to thinking about that. I should pull that up and I'll find it on Netflix or something and watch that again, Amazon Prime, whatever. All right, Mark is up next. Wally, you called in. Call me back. We'll get you right up right after Mark, 303-477-5600. Mark and Littleton, thanks for waiting through that interview. What's going on today?
Well, not much. Thank you, guys. What's the maximum amount of miles you would buy an unserviced automatic transmission?
Well, that's a tough question because it really depends on the vehicle and the transmission it's in it.
And what's been done with that vehicle.
Right. I.e., is it a truck that's had a load on it its entire life?
Right.
That would change the variation from just a regular passenger car. Some transmissions, naturally just, for example, you buy a 3/4 ton Chevy truck with a diesel and a Duramax or a Duramax with a Allison transmission behind it, and the reality on that one is, you know what, 150K easy.
Yeah.
I'm looking. It's for my daughter. And she's about getting ready to drive, and I was debating, that question for a passenger car or stick to a stick shift, because I'm thinking the stick shifts can go longer without a service. And I'll just
and again, be careful on that. It depends. That one comes back down to it depends on the car. There's some manual transmissions in some cars that, quite honestly, weren't any better than their automatic counterparts were.
Right.
Just depends on the and even there's some trucks that fit that description. There's some truck transmissions. They're in all of us in this room, know that there's some truck transmissions that weren't worth owning, period, when they were brand new.
Right.
So as far as the manual side of the fence goes, so it really comes down to the vehicle.
Okay.
So what are you looking at? Give us an idea of what vehicle you're looking at.
2006 BMW 328i. Now, so BMW, their service recommendation is 100,000 miles on their automatics.
Correct.
Yeah. And I know that is bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far on one, even though that's what they're telling you. I wouldn't go that far. That's one that I probably.
30,000 mile.
What I was going to say is that's probably one that I would probably be a little leery of anything that's close to 100 that hasn't been serviced.
Yeah.
What about 30 or 60 or something like that?
30 to 60, no problem. You start getting over the 75K mark, I'd probably be a little more leery of it. Anything under 75K on that car, I would be okay with.
For an automatic?
Yep. And again, you got to look at, who's owned it,
Yep.
How's it been maintained? What's the fluid condition like right now? And you're leading into, you and our first caller, Jerry, I'm going to talk about buying and selling, used cars here in just a minute. You're leading into some great questions already that I'll cover as we get into that topic.
Okay. All right. Super. All right. I'll look for.
All right. So,
right.
Yeah, and by the way, Mark, if you ever have a specific question, email me. Send me a picture, email me, however you want to do that. You can do it directly at John at drive-radio.com. I'd be happy to help you.
Great, thank you.
You betcha, Mark. Appreciate it. All right, line's open. Call us. We're going to take a quick break. 303-477-5600. When we come back, we'll talk about lots of stuff. I've got buying and selling used cars. Mm-hmm. I've got several other topics for today. The 20 worst cars of all time, which I wanted to get into if we have time today. And then, of course, whatever else you want to ask. The question of the day, the worst ticket you ever received that you did not deserve. So if nobody starts it off, we'll let Larry share his, because he's the one that came up with the question. But call us. Lines are open, 303-477-5600. Ken Rackley, Tune Tech, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation instructions so you can easily replace your old filter, usually in 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the air inside your car clean and fresh without continually burying and throwing away disposable filters. Find the K&N washable cabin air filter for your car or truck at knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com.
This is Tilden Total Car Care. Our goal is to help as many people as we can, as fast as we can. It's never a good day when you have to go to the auto repair shop. And the guys at Tilden get that. It is a bad day. You go into the repair shop, that's not a good day. You feel helpless. You don't know what's wrong. You have no idea how expensive those repairs might be, or even if they're necessary. They're saying words you've never heard, and you're not even sure if they're real. Tilden Total Car Care has an entirely different approach. They view themselves as customer advocates. Every Tilden employee has the authority to do what's necessary to make you happy. If they find a way that they can save you money without compromising quality, they'll do it. Tilden vows never to sell you work you don't need, and every car they touch gets a complimentary safety inspection. Do we need to fix it? Can we fix it? Is it worth fixing? And what's the best way to go about doing that? So we do the full inspection because you came into our shop. You honored us with your business. We're going to do everything we can to make that as good of an experience as it could possibly be. It's pretty fun. Tilden Total Car Care. Federal at Bellevue or at 6th and Peoria. It's a lot of fun.
Cleaning out the garage and cleaning up the yard means spring cleaning. Don't forget to clean up your car. Arvada West Auto sees a need in vehicles for spring maintenance after a cold, snowy winter takes its toll on your vehicle. We want to help you keep safe and your car running smoothly. Our ASE certified technicians are experts at what they do. Ask us about our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. Let us and the power of Napa Auto Care keep you on the road. Call Arvada West Auto 303-422-1065. Stop by 11752 West 64th Avenue or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com, where every question is important. See you soon.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, 1035 on a Saturday morning. I'm Ken Rackley from TuneTech over in Aurora. Dave and Parker, you're up next. Welcome to Drive Radio.
Yeah, I was wondering, I heard you talking one time about possibly they were going to repeal that $25 penalty for every month you go over your registration due date.
They did not.
Oh, they didn't. Okay.
They did not. I wish they had.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a tax. It's not even it's just a tax. That's all they've done is they added, for people that get late or have a car where you take it out of service and you put it back in, the max is $100 they can collect. But, somebody's out 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. Well, they're going to collect their extra $100 on that particular vehicle. And it really doesn't matter if it's sat in your yard for the last 3 years, you're still going to pay that $100.
Right. Yeah. $100 on top of the original
it's a joke.
Registration fee. Yeah.
It's an extra tax is all it is.
And how about I heard there was something to repeal the red light cameras too.
That is sitting on the governor's desk as we speak. If he doesn't veto it, it will go into law. If he vetoes it, of course it won't, and it's still on his desk right now.
Okay, thanks for the info.
You're very welcome. Appreciate it. In fact, there's 2 different bills sitting on his desk that he can choose which way he wants to go. One of the bills, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to get this wrong, but I think I'm right in this. One of the bills basically abolishes them all statewide. The other one says, if you can prove as a city that you want to go ahead and keep these, and I don't know what the justification is for that, but basically you can, but I don't know which one is which and how it works, but I know they're both sitting on his desk as we speak. What he does with them, who knows? So if somebody else knows any more about that, feel free to call in. I should be more up on that, but no offense, I have a lot of things on my brain every day. So if you know more about that red light, bill, the 2 bills, I should say, that are sitting on the governor's desk and you want to comment on it, by all means, call us, 303-477-5600. We have one line open right now. Bruno, you're up next. Welcome to Drive Radio.
Yeah, first, I really enjoy your show. I'm a long-time listener.
Thank you, Bruno.
Anyway, on a 2005 Kia Sedona, it's also got a Kia radio in it. And unfortunately, I like the whole vehicle pretty darn much, but when I have the radio on, especially going in underpasses and under bridges, it kind of has a whistling sound or kind of walloping whistling sound. That's the best I can describe it.
Got it.
Is there any way to, do I have to replace the radio, or what do I have to do with that?
Most likely, yes. That's probably something that's intricate to the radio itself. Might be antenna related. But I doubt it. It's probably, and what I've noticed in all the different new cars that I drive, and this is why I think it's in the radio, I can get in some new cars, drive them all around, and they've got tremendous reception everywhere you go, even under some of the underpasses. I'll get in the next car the next week, and I won't even name names because it really varies a lot on the make and model of the vehicle. That's why I think some of it is radio, some of it is the design, maybe even of the car, the antenna, and so on. Sure. There's other cars I can hop into where I go underneath an underpass, and it does exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that it's, and I hate to have you look really weird running around town, but one thing you could try really quick just to see if it's an antenna issue, take some tinfoil, wrap it around the antenna, see if it changes your reception at all as you go through some of those underpasses. That'll tell you whether it's a radio issue or an antenna issue.
It's got no antenna. It's got to be somewhere in the windshield or in the
okay. And if that's the case, that's partially why it's worse. You may see if a radio shop could add a external antenna, which they make some aftermarket antennas. If that could be added, that probably would help.
Which one do you recommend the most to go to?
Anybody have any ideas?
Yeah, I don't really have any.
And it used to be in the old days, we had several radio shops around town. Now I think you've got to do a Best Buy. Quality Auto Sound is gone. Car Toys, Best Buy, some of those places is what I would recommend.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Bruno. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate it. 303-477-5600. Bruno, the other thing you could do, some of our auto care centers, in our Colorado Select group might be interested in doing that, because you can get antennas from Napa, and they may be willing to do that. Again, that's going to be more specific to the shop itself. Call around, ask if any of the guys would do it. Ken, is it something you would do or not?
I probably wouldn't be able to. Yeah,
just not up your alley.
Getting in panels and stuff. Right. Yeah, that's probably not.
So some of the guys that do some of the accessory work and things like that, they may be willing to. So Bruno, call around. You might find one of our shops even inside of our Drive Radio group that might do that. And you can find all of those at drive-radio.com. Randy, welcome. What's going on today?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir.
Let me spit out the ticket. It's a two-part deal.
Okay.
I was in a new place, a new state, as a matter of fact. I didn't know the place very well, and damn sure didn't know there was a school around there. But I was going down the road, let's say 30, 35. Speed limit was probably 25. I wasn't looking because the wife was yakking, and that's a rare occasion. So we're talking. I'm not paying attention, but I wasn't cruising down the road. I mean, you're probably 30, 35.
Okay.
Speed limit probably about 25, but next thing you know, I get pulled over, and this is, by the way, about 6, 7 o'clock at night, and it's dark out. I get the ticket for speeding. Okay, that's fine. All right, that's good. But then he gave me the double whammy. I'm in a school zone.
What?
I'm thinking
it's 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
it's 6 to 7 o'clock at night, and there
shouldn't be any kids walking around at that time of night.
No, it wasn't night school, but I was in a school zone. But it was 6, 7 o'clock at night. It was dark. I didn't know I was there. Nobody around, because when I leave here in the morning, I mean, I see the school thing, 15 miles an hour, beeping yellow lights. Yeah, I'm gonna obey that.
Yeah, well, and you don't want my opinion. In fact, I should do this during the week one day. You don't want my opinion on school zone speed limits in the first place, especially around high schools. My feeling on high schoolers, if they can't cross the street properly at age 16, when they get into high school, I'm not sure they're ever going to do it. So why do we need a school zone near a high school?
You can't cross the street on Federal at all anyway, because someone's going to hit you and take off.
And they put them in the goofiest places sometimes. That's a side note. I'll get off the soapbox. What's your other question, Randy?
I had to do with the CV transmission. It might boil down to a CVT is always looking for that sweet spot. But I've had mine maybe 6 months or so, and maybe 3 or 4 times in that time period. I'll be driving on a smooth, whether it's a highway or street, and I don't want to overemphasize this and say it's a clunk or a jerk or a surge or a leach, but there's like a disruption right there. And I just wonder if that's like I let off the gas pedal or pushed on it. And it's very subtle. But
that's pretty inherent to a CVT transmission. You're feeling everything inside of it, essentially unwind and wind up, and that's pretty inherent. Now, I will say that as they continue to progress, as you get newer and newer with CVTs, some of the new CVTs, you don't feel any of that because they've got the computerization of them to the point where you just don't feel that any longer. But the early CVTs, you'd feel some of those things.
Yeah, it's kind of like you took your foot on or off the gas pedal or something.
Yep, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about it.
That's not good to get an extra ticket.
No, it's not. No, that really stinks. I feel for you.
Nobody's around. Come on.
No, I don't blame you on that one. Randy, appreciate the phone call very much. I appreciate all your listening also, as you do each week. I do really appreciate that very much. Wally in Arvada, you're up next. What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Wally, you there?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you. Let's go again.
Is that better?
There we go. Perfect.
Okay. This lady has a 2002 Chevy Trailblazer.
Okay.
And she uses it. A number of people use it. Anyway, I was driving it up to air up a tire the other day, and I could, when I was sitting at a light, I heard this, every 10, 15 seconds, a little bump in the back. And then just rhythmically, as I was sitting there at the light, boom. Then 10, 15 seconds later, boom.
Okay.
Would that be the fuel pump?
Could be the fuel pump, or it could be the purge system on the tank itself not working like it should be.
Right.
Purge system.
Yeah, the emission system for the gas tank, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe not work. Maybe building up too much pressure is what I'm getting at.
Usually that would turn on a check engine light or something, usually.
Yeah. Is there any lights on?
No.
No.
Okay. And was it in what year? Oh, it's an 02.
Yeah. Was it only when the vehicle was moving or when you were stopped too?
That didn't matter.
Okay.
I started listening, as it was going.
And what was the level of the fuel at that point? Do you know?
About half.
Okay. What I would do if it were me is I would fill it up to the brim.
Yes.
And drive it and see if that noise is still there.
Okay.
That would kind of give us or a technician the indication of where to start looking if the noise goes away when it's full of fuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't think they would continue to run that EVAP monitor, and be cycling that solenoid, but the light's not on. Yeah,
hard to say.
Weird. Yeah, that's gonna take some.
And it's possible the pump is making that thumping noise, but that just doesn't sound right either.
Yeah, they'll usually squeal or hum or something.
Right.
Yeah,
typically not thump.
Right, and not intermittently.
We haven't checked the pressure on it, but I just
I don't think it's the pump itself. I would say it's probably more of a pressurization problem of the tank itself, is what I would guess.
Okay. And that could be a number of things, right? Just to get the gas cap, or not?
No, probably not the cap itself. It would be more in the evap system, the emissions evap system itself.
Okay.
But we're guessing without actually riding in it, hearing it.
Right.
Maybe you got a ghost in the back or something riding along with you.
Right. Yeah. Electronic signal pumping the bass or something.
Yeah.
And we've had a spare tire give intermittent issues because those spare tires hang back there. That's
true too.
And they'll, if they're not quite snug up against the body.
Good point.
But it's just so hard to say.
Yeah, on the noise, you really need to get again, a couple things you can try on your own. Fill it up with fuel, see if it changes it.
Yep.
And then from there, just write everything down, write the temperature it is outside, keep a little logbook on when you hear the thumping, what's happening. That would help a technician diagnose it.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Wally. Appreciate the phone call. And with that, we've got open lines. Call us. We'll get you right on air. 303-477-5600. The worst ticket you ever received that you didn't deserve. And then also when we come back, I do have a few pointers on buying, selling. We'll start with the buying side of the fence. A lot of people out this time of the year, it's springtime's coming around eventually here if we can get out of this cooler weather we've had. But, people will start buying some different cars for different things. We've had several calls about that today. I'll give you some tips on that as soon as we come back. Don't go away, but lines are open. 303-477-5600. Ken Rackley, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Extreme Auto, we're committed to providing the highest level of service possible to our customers. Our highly trained technicians are ASE certified and are dedicated to providing you with world-class service. We have years of experience working on both domestic and import vehicles of all makes and models, and will work with you to find cost-effective repair and maintenance alternatives. We don't have hidden fees, and we don't do unnecessary repairs. Serving Parker and the surrounding areas, come and see us, the professionals at Extreme Auto, and rest easy knowing you'll get quality work done for a fair price. Our promise to you: extreme service, extreme value, extreme satisfaction. Call us to schedule your appointment today.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Ever try to buy an air filter and get lost in catalogs and vehicle descriptions? Well, K&N, the inventor of reusable cotton filters, has got the answer to the mess. Just visit knfilters.com and enter your vehicle identification number off your dashboard or car registration, and K&N will show you the filter that fits your car. It's never been easier to buy a K&N, the filter that helps your car run better.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-align belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff. Napa Auto Parts.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, 1050 in the morning. Ken Rackley from TuneTech over in Aurora. And real quick, Ken, while I've got a second here before we get busy with these next, little bit of calls, how do people find you?
Oh, well, we're on the internet, of course. We're on drive-radio.com. Okay. And we're Colfax and Chambers, between Chambers and 225.
Really about roughly a block east of I-225 on Colfax.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
best way to look.
Yeah.
Just start looking to your left when you get off the ramp there.
That's right. We're up just a little ways. There's a couple, 3 lights or so that you go through, and we're on the north side.
Yep.
So
nice blue building, pretty easy to find.
Yep, got
TuneTech right on the front.
Just got the signs up this week.
Perfect.
Actually. So
right on.
Worked out really good.
What's your phone number?
303-364-3391.
All right, and I appreciate Ken coming in and helping us out on this. It turned out to be a really beautiful morning here in Colorado. So, Dennis in Denver, welcome. What's going on today?
Hi, John and Ken.
Hey, man. What's going on?
Oh, I want to tell Ken the signs look great. I was by there yesterday to drop off some used oil.
Awesome.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was actually gone yesterday. My oldest daughter graduated college yesterday.
Awesome.
So
Good
we were
for
in
her.
the Springs.
I had one of those this week, too. So good. That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thanks for bringing that by, Dennis.
Oh, you're welcome. Congratulations to you both.
Oh,
appreciate
thank you.
it. Thanks, Dennis.
So, John, if I remember correctly, on that red light issue, the bills that are sitting on his desk, it would outlaw red light cameras and photo radar.
Okay.
If a local jurisdiction chose not to do that, then it has to go to a vote of the people.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's right. The citizens would then have to vote on it to determine if they want to keep those or not.
That's correct.
That's right. That's one of them. So what's the second one?
Second one is an unjustified ticket. I'm 16 years old.
Real quick, Dennis, before you start on that story, there's 2 bills on his desk. One of them does exactly what you just said. Now, is the second one just an all-out abolishment of the red light and photo radar tickets?
I believe so. So a jurisdiction would have to say, okay, we're done. We're not going to.
Got it. So basically, the governor right now has a choice of either I veto both of these, or I sign one that just outlaws all of them, which he's not going to do. So really, the only chance we probably have of signing the one you mentioned where it gives the people a vote as to whether they want to keep red light and photo radar cameras.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. I just want to make sure we were clear on that, because there are 2 sitting on his desk as we speak, and I don't think he's vetoed either one yet.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so go on with your story.
So the most unjustified ticket. I'm 16 years old, driving northbound on Peoria. The officer's driving southbound. I'm in the outside lane. There's a car in front of me, a car behind me, and 3 cars in the inside lane to my left.
Okay.
He decides to pick me out of that pack and write me for 15 over, which I know I was not doing.
You're kidding me.
Oh.
No.
So why did he pick you? That's the real question.
I have no idea. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I'm headed home, and we're all doing the speed limit.
So he wouldn't even known your age at that point with it being dark.
Correct.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
what were you driving? What kind of car?
Was it the flames on the vehicle?
No, it was Dad's 65 Plymouth 4-door.
Wow.
Okay, so
go to work car.
Nothing
stood
out. Nothing out of the norm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
The only thing that saved my hiney that year was Ward Lucas of 9 News decided to do a series on the city of Aurora and their overuse of radar.
Interesting.
And they slammed the Aurora Police Department to no end.
Wow.
So I go to court to fight this ticket, and the officer doesn't show up.
Okay.
And that's one of
So
many
you got
stories I have about Aurora Police Department harassing people my age at that point in time.
Wow. Interesting. Well, I had a few of those too, but I'm not sure mine were unjustified.
Yeah.
I only had two. I've only, this is the God's honest truth. I'm 50. I've only had 2 speeding tickets my whole life. That's it.
Yeah.
2. And they were both under the age of 18.
Wow. Yeah.
So I've been pretty fortunate. And that's not to say that I've never deserved one since, but I only got those 2 caught when I was under the age of 18. So good story, Dennis.
And John, I'm still checking on that fuel issue for you. It's a little bit tricky because it would be a private residence situation instead of a commercial building.
Right. Got it. Makes sense. Well, when you get it, just let me know. No big deal, Dennis. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
All right, man. Have a great weekend and have a good Memorial Day weekend. If I didn't hear from you before then, Mike in Arvada, you're up next. What's going on?
This Mike here?
Yes, sir.
Hey, John. How are you?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks for calling us.
Sure. Hey, look, I got a 1999 Ford F-150 with a 5.4 Triton engine in it.
Okay.
I just replaced the battery. And the problem is when I turn the key, the car will not crank, but the alarm will go off. And I don't know how to disable the alarm and get the engine started.
So the pass lock has probably been engaged and it's not allowing it to crank is what's happened.
Right.
Yeah. How do I disable that?
Do you have another key?
I have another key, but I don't have a fob.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You can unlock it though, correct? You wouldn't be inside trying to crank it if you were. So try your other key and see if it starts with the other key.
Yeah.
All right.
Try that. Because you can't bypass it. It's part of the integral programming.
If it doesn't start, then you'll have to have somebody go in with a scan tool and reset the pass system to get it to actually work.
Well, and provided it's not an aftermarket alarm.
Correct.
Right.
No, it's not.
It should, if it's the original factory pass lock on the Ford, it could be reset.
Yeah.
Can I reset that myself?
I don't know. Can you, Ken? Without a scan tool, can you?
I don't think so.
You only look in your owner's manual and see if it says anything in there about resetting it. Do you still have it?
Yes, I do.
Or look under the pass lock system or the security system and see if there's a way to. Sometimes you can, on some cars, and I don't know this model, I should, but we always had scan tools, so I never had to do any of this. So look and see. Sometimes you can take the key, the door key, unlock, lock so many different times. Sometimes there's a system where you hold your mouth just right and do different things, and pretty soon it reset. But if that's the case, it will be in the owner's manual.
Yeah.
All right. I'll check it out.
But
Thanks
first,
for your help.
to Ken's point, before you do that, start with the other key and see if it does anything.
Did you say the battery went dead or anything like that, or has the computer been unplugged or anything like that?
I switched the battery. The battery went dead. Well, it was going out. I switched it out before it died completely.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Usually that doesn't have an issue, but we have run into if the ECM has been unplugged. Then it resets, so you have to have 2 keys and reprogram the keys. But I doubt that would be an issue because we've never had that happen before. But try the other key and see what happens there.
All right, I'll give it
All right, Mike.
a shot.
You bet.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it very much. We got time for one more call before the top of the hour. Victor in Florida, hang with us. I'll get you probably as soon as I come back from the top of the hour. Scott, you're up next. What's going on today?
Hey, gentlemen, what's going on?
Doing great. How are you, sir?
Good, yeah. Hey, I got a question for you. I got that 97 464 that's got the 7.5 in it.
Okay.
And I had the map sensor went out. I had to get it diagnosed and replaced the map sensor. I got the top of the line Napa map sensor put back in it.
Okay.
It's kind of tricky when those go out. I thought it was maybe the fuel pump, but it ended up being that map sensor.
Sure.
It just seems like it's running kind of lean now. I don't know. I know when it started going out, it pours a lot of, it was running, I would call it like rich, it was starting to dump a lot of black smoke out of the tail
What makes you think it's lean?
Just going down the highway, it just seems like it's starving fuel a little bit. It just doesn't seem like it's running free like it used to.
That would be one where you really need somebody with a scan tool to look at it, see what the parameters are, what's the rich lean settings look like? Is it switching back and forth? What's going on there? Is it lazy? You might have a lazy O2 sensor. Some things like that also might be contributing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like I say, I got the top of the line sensor from Napa.
That I wouldn't think that'd be a problem.
I wouldn't think so either. Yeah. I mean, they're especially on a map, they're going to work.
Should be good.
Not.
Okay.
All right.
And I just had one other question.
Okay, tell you what, we're up against a hard break at the top of the hour. Scott, hang with me. I'll get you. You'll be first up as soon as I come back, so don't go away. Scott, hang with us. Victor, I'll get you also. And then Gary just joined us. All of you guys hang on. We're going to take a quick news break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. John Rush, Ken Rackley, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for their highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business. So Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Join me every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. for Sportsman of Colorado. We offer a variety of hunting and fishing experts, outfitters, guns and ammo, and archery specialists. We'll also keep you informed of techniques, products, gear, and conservation news. That's Sportsman of Colorado, Saturdays, 1 to 2 p.m., right here on KLZ 560.
This is Kim Evans with Lawford Solutions. Join me and Scott Watley every Saturday from 4 to 4:30 p.m. for information pertaining to seniors and their families on Seniors on the Move Radio, KLZ 560.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Brad James. A top ISIS terrorist commander, Abu Sayyaf, has been killed in an overnight secret raid by U.S. Special Operations in eastern Syria. Sayyaf was in charge of the terrorist group's oil and gas operations, which are critical to the financing of ISIS. Reports say the terrorist commander resisted being captured by special forces and was killed. His wife was captured in the raid and has been taken to Iraq for questioning. All of the U.S. troops involved in the operation were able to get out of Syria safely.
Just be honest and say, we've done great. America's been good to us, and we want it to be good to everybody else, too.
That's former Arkansas Republican Governor Mike Huckabee with reaction to the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, reporting the Clintons made over $25 million since January of last year, mostly in speaking fees.
I do think that there is a question about if the fees are disproportionate and the fees are being paid by people who are then getting favors from the U.S. government.
Huckabee on Fox and Friends. The first democratically elected president of Egypt is sentenced to death in Cairo. More from the Blaze Radio's Chris Vermillion.
Former President Morsi now facing execution for his involvement in a 2011 prison break. Morsi, as well as more than 100 other defendants facing execution, now await the decision of the Grand Mufti, the political and religious leader of Egypt, who will now decide who lives and who dies. Morsi became Egypt's first democratically elected president in 2012, but was ousted the next year by a military coup. Chris Vermillion, The Blaze News.
A large number of presidential hopefuls are expected to turn out for today's Republican Party fundraiser in Des Moines, Iowa. 11 prospective candidates will speak at the Iowa Republican Lincoln Day dinner, including Jeb Bush, Donald Trump, and Rand Paul, Governors Bobby Jindal and Scott Walker, along with Senators Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio, many using the event to make their pitch for the GOP presidential nomination. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560 Denver.
Freedom 560 with Ken Clark, now at a new time, 1 to 3 p.m. on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter of a mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
And it is Drive Radio, second hour. John Rush, your host. Ken Rackley from TuneTech is with us. If it's Sunday at noon, don't call us because we're not here. But you can email us, john@drive-radio.com on a Sunday, or go right to our website, drive-radio.com. Fill out the form there, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But, yeah, if it's Sunday, it's pre-recorded. We're not going to answer the phone, and I know it rings on Sundays because the guys that are here on Sundays actually talk about that, but it is Saturday today, so you can call in. As lines go away, or as somebody drops off, give us a call, 303-477-5600. They're full right now. Scott, we'll get him right back. We left off talking about your 460 there at the last hour, Scott, your 97 460. You had a map sensor issue. Continue on.
Yeah, I just had another question on that. As far as that thing when the map sensor went out, is that going to affect as far as that, getting all that black smoke and stuff, is that going to follow my plugs up at all, or?
Well, the old sensor, if it was way rich, could have, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And those would be worth looking at, at this point. If it was really bad, if it was running really, really rich for, a length of time, I'd probably check them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went out, on the road. I had to drive about 15 miles to get her home, but she was stuttering and spitting.
I'd probably check them.
Pull the plugs. Okay.
Yeah, I'd pull them. You don't have to pull them all, but pull a couple and see what they look like.
Yeah, and and it could be just one has got the soot on it and it just can't burn it off and doesn't fire correctly. But take a look.
You'll typically know when you pull a couple what things are looking like, and if they're looking pretty sooted up, don't clean them. Just put new plugs in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Use new ones. Don't clean them.
Yeah, you can't clean these late model plugs.
Yeah, not worth it.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
All right, Scott. Appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for the phone call. We really do appreciate it. One line open, 303-477-5600. Our Florida listener, Victor, welcome. What's going on today?
Hey, John. How you doing
I'm doing great, man. Good to hear from you.
Hey, listen, that whole ticket thing, I had something like that happen to me a couple years ago. My mom's husband, he's a truck driver. He has a small little trucking company.
Okay.
And so I was going into town there. And all of a sudden, I was going home, and there was a car in front of me, and he was like 15 miles under the speed limit. And I went around him, the double yellow line. Okay, the sheriff's deputy, he caught me, pulled me over in that. And I explained myself to him. I said, hey, listen, that guy's going 15. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I says, really? And I think the guy might have been under the influence of alcohol. This is like before noon time,
He just hasn't
so
stopped.
I took the ticket.
So did you end up with a ticket?
Oh, yeah.
So you got a ticket, and he still went and got the guy that was actually...
He pulled him over somewhere where I wasn't able to see, because he was way ahead of me. By the time he stopped me, pulled me over, the guy was ahead of me, But anyway, I called my mom, and I said, hey, Mom, what's your husband's attorney, for traffic violation?
Right.
And I called this office, and the receptionist says, just come down here, pay me $100. And at first I'm like, wow, $100. He says, look, it'll be worth your while. I said, okay. So I went downtown because I live outside of the Tampa area, downtown Tampa.
Got it.
And I went and paid, and I was kind of concerned. A couple of weeks went by. I called the girl. Says, don't worry about it. It'll take them a little time. A couple of weeks later, I get a letter from the attorney. No points, no school, no nothing.
Really?
It was all taken care of.
Interesting.
Nice.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Does Colorado allow that? Where you guys are about attorney handling things like that?
It depends on the particular case. In fact, what I need to do is get Kevin Flesh in here on a Saturday, which he's our attorney. Actually advertises with me during the weekdays. Victor, good question. I think I'll get Kevin in at some point, and we'll just do a little session on that and ask. I don't know what all the rules in Colorado are on that.
I have a service that it works really well for things like that. If I have any business law questions or anything like that, I can call them and things. And then if I do get a ticket, I can call them, tell them the situation, give them the court date and stuff. And then they kind of research a little bit and they say, okay, mail it in, pay for it or whatever, or we'll go represent you.
We'll go fight.
Yeah.
Okay. So sounds like a similar deal, Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's also handled cases for him also out of Georgia and another state.
Interesting.
And this guy's taking care of everything related to a traffic citation.
Wow.
Well, especially, you drive a truck, your insurance goes up and all that.
Right. Oh, yes.
So,
yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, no, but I also have something interesting for you. My mom just lives a couple miles from the gentleman with the little copter, whatever.
Yeah.
In Washington, D.C.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I tried to call you rush reason, but I get off of work around 5:30.
Oh, that would be a great story. So she lives a couple miles from the guy that actually drove the chopper into the White House lawn.
Correct. And my girlfriend, one of the girls that works for it, lives in the subdivision.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So I haven't followed up on that. I assume he's probably still in the big house?
House arrest. He's under house arrest.
He's under house arrest.
He's under house arrest, and some of the people who are kind of like, with him, with the whole, the whole congressman taking money and changing, they had him here a while back where they had a little rally, but they had to hold it at his house because he can't leave his home.
Got it.
Yeah, no, but the interesting thing, it's funny, is I had heard the story on the radio, so when I got home, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm thinking, because my father-in-law, his name is Doug, and he retired from the post office.
Oh, no.
So I was thinking, please don't let it be him. Please don't let it be him.
Oh,
I mean, he has his political views, and he has some political views.
Right.
But when I got home and they said his last name, I'm like, whoosh, it's not him.
Good story, Victor. Hey, man, if you ever have anything like that you want to talk to me about during the week, just send me an email and we'll figure out a time where I can get you on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I wish I can get you a little better in the afternoons, but by the time I'm getting home and the hours from Colorado when your show is on, it's kind of a little iffy and it's getting close to your show ending.
Yeah, well, something happens in the future. If it's a good topic, we'll just figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, well, I'm still after you about the whole trucking transport. You haven't got anybody on yet.
No, I haven't had. I'm working on that. In fact, I've got a meeting with Isaac, our broker, this next week, and I'll see what I see what I can do. I'm trying to get that done. I was supposed to meet with him this past week, and we just didn't have time to get together, so I'm going to do it this next week.
Yeah, I'm not doing nothing specific. I just kind of want to hope that you guys can talk about the pitfalls and what you should be more cautious
about. That'd be a great show. Again, I'm still working on that. I haven't forgot about you, Victor.
Yeah. All right. Hey, you guys are suffering through that cold. It's 92 today, I believe.
Oh man, yeah, Mike.
65. We're in better shape right now than you are.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but when you guys were getting snow, it was almost 90 here.
Yeah, I know. I envy you at times, Victor. Believe me, very much so. Hey, man, appreciate the phone call. Have a great afternoon and enjoy your Florida weather, of course. Let's go to Gary, who's up next. Gary, welcome. What's going on today?
Yeah, good morning, John.
Good morning, sir.
I've got a 2005 Buick LaCrosse. That's the first year they came out with the LaCrosse CXS.
Okay.
And up 95,000 miles. And so I use it. I'm outside sales, and so I'm traveling this week. I get an ABS traction control service lights that come up on my dash. And then the next day, nothing. It's fine. Then the next day, it's back on again. And I can't feel anything different from one day to the next.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't. With those lights coming on, and they probably come on as you're driving, not when you first started up?
Correct.
Okay,
yesterday, I'm coming back from Longmont. They came on late in the afternoon.
Okay.
I put 127 miles on my trip yesterday.
Yeah.
And then so it came on, and then this morning when I started it up, they're on again.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Well, it's sensing some type of problem in the analog brake traction control system, and they're tied together. So it's sensing something in the
got a wheel sensor, something that's got a problem somewhere.
Yep, exactly. And so what it would take would be to get to a shop that can actually scan that and see what's going on with it.
Which we've got several in Littleton that can help you with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who would be like Wadsworth and C470?
Either, well, you know what? You're close enough either to Geno's or Tilden. Just depends on where you want to go. Geno's is at Bowles and Platte Canyon, and Geno's is off of Federal.
Yeah, Bowles and Platte Canyon.
Yep, Geno's is probably closer to you.
Okay.
Okay.
And then a quick story on my ticket.
Yes, go ahead, Gary.
I'm still in outside sales. This is 15 years ago. I'm traveling to Rifle, so there's nothing out there. It's a 50-mile-an-hour open roads for as far as you can see. I'm driving 50 miles an hour. State trooper comes over the little hill, and, I look down at my speedometer because he hit the gravel, did a broad slide. Here he comes with all the lights on, and it's like, maybe there was a bank robbery.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, what happened?
Yeah, cracked windshield.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Right.
Wow.
And where was it cracked at?
Just to the right of the passenger side, maybe.
Wow. So not even in your vision.
No, about 12 inches long.
Yeah, that's a cheesy ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looking for something.
Yeah, that's a cheesy ticket.
Yeah, that was a slow day for him.
That's a revenue generating day is all that is.
Yeah. And also, John, I've listened to you from day one on Rush to Reason, Randy on his first day on the radio.
Thank you, Gary.
And also your afternoon.
Appreciate that.
I'm 65 years old, and this is the first time I've ever called a radio station.
Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for listening, and thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you
very much. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that very, very much.
Yeah.
All right, we got one line open. Wally is calling in from Coos Bay, Oregon. Wants to say hi. We'll take him as soon as we come back. Don't go away. John Rush, Ken Rackley, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each Colorado Select member currently offers Napa's Peace of Mind warranty, but are now also offering an extended 2-year or 24,000-mile warranty on repair work. You won't find this offer anywhere else. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-6272.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
This is Tilden Total Car Care. Our goal is to help as many people as we can, as fast as we can. It's never a good day when you have to go to the auto repair shop. And the guys at Tilden get that. It is a bad day. You go into the repair shop, that's not a good day. You feel helpless. You don't know what's wrong. You have no idea how expensive those repairs might be, or even if they're necessary. They're saying words you've never heard, and you're not even sure if they're real. Tilden Total Car Care has an entirely different approach. They view themselves as customer advocates. Every Tilden employee has the authority to do what's necessary to make you happy. If they find a way that they can save you money without compromising quality, they'll do it. Tilden vows never to sell you work you don't need, and every car they touch gets a complimentary safety inspection. Do we need to fix it? Can we fix it? Is it worth fixing? And what's the best way to go about doing that? So we do the full inspection because you came into our shop. You honored us with your business. We're going to do everything we can to make that as good of an experience as it could possibly be. It's pretty fun. Tilden Total Car Care. Federal at Bellevue or at 6th and Peoria. It's a lot of fun.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation.
Yeah, TuneIn works by dialing into the stream of a particular station.
I listen to our stream, and our stream's fine. I'm listening to TuneIn now, and after the ad stopped, there's silence. So there's troubles on their end, which is out of our control. We're back in 30.com. If you want to mention it,
Your wife has
you can go to our website and click Listen Live.
enough to know that you
And they could do that through their phone, too.
find
They
a
just be taking a different route to get there.
certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
All right, John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Ken Rackley from TuneTech, and we've been knowing this now for about the past 4 or 5 days. The TuneIn app, if you've got a smartphone and you listen to us through the TuneIn app, it's struggling this week. We don't know why. It's on their end, not our end. If you're on your phone or your computer, well, if you're on your computer, you're going to listen to the stream anyways. Just go to our website, KLZ website, which is is it still? I don't remember.
You can go to 560thesaurus.com still.
So you can still go to 560thesaurus.com, pick it up that way. You
click on Listen Live
on your phone, 560thesaurus.com, and listen through your phone, not through the TuneIn app. So until we get that straightened out, that's the best way to still listen to us right now. Wally, up in Coos Bay, Oregon, what's going on?
You're from Oregon, aren't you?
I am not from Oregon. Dorsey's from Oregon. I am a Boulder, Colorado native.
Okay. It's been an interesting trip. I left Thursday morning about 10 a.m. I've done 1,530 miles. I've averaged in the high 40s and a lot of rain. Got snowed on at 34 degrees outside of Ely, Nevada. So it's definitely been an interesting trip.
So you got snowed on outside of Ely, Nevada?
Yeah, as I was crossing Connor Pass.
Okay.
Wow.
So I got sleeted on at one point, but it was only 37 with that one.
Wow. Well, it's right now today, and you probably already know this, but right now today it's around 65-ish. We have some rain showers coming in this evening. Not a bad day so far, but definitely cooler for the time of the year that we're in.
Well, it's 58 degrees where I'm at right now. I'm getting ready to head up a little bit to Port Angeles, Washington.
Okay, got it.
I got about another 500 miles or so to go today, but
got it.
It's good to know about the website because I've been trying to get you guys on TuneIn, and it just kept giving me an error message.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, even on your phone, just go to 560thesaurus.com, listen to the stream there, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
All right, Wally. Appreciate it. Be very, very safe. When are you coming home?
I will be home on Memorial Day.
Oh, well, okay. So you got another little over a week out. So be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
I will.
Be safe, Wally. Thanks so much for listening. And Wally's proof you can listen anywhere you want.
Yeah.
So, and Wally's one of our listeners that's usually out and about on the road. So, those of you that have tried the TuneIn app, it's not working like it's supposed to. Just go to the website, even on your phone or your iPad or whatever device you've got, 560thesaurus.com. You can just click on the little Listen Live button. And there should be a link even on Drive Radio. I got to check to make sure that link still works with all the changes we've done on the KLZ end. I will check that this week because you typically can go to drive-radio.com and actually do the same thing. So I'll do my best to make sure all that's working correctly. One line open, 303-477-5600. Gary and Greeley, what's going on?
Hey, I got an unjustified ticket.
Let's hear it.
Well, it's funny because this happened in Oregon.
Okay, where Wally's at right now.
Yes. I was driving southbound on I-5 in between two truckers.
Okay.
And this happened in about 1982, something like that.
Okay.
And we're doing about 85 miles an hour, and I don't have any breathing space between these two guys, if you know what I mean.
Right.
They were not happy with me kind of cutting into their convoy, but next thing I know, the red and blue lights are on, and I'm the one getting pulled over. And the first thing the officer asked me, he said, I don't hope you don't think I'm singling you out.
Well, you are.
Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, I think you are.
Yeah.
What was his comment back?
Well, he said, no, I'm not. He said, well, I was driving a red Trans Am, so a 76 Trans Am, so that kind of probably gave it away.
That between that and you being in the car, and which is interesting though, because It just, it depends on. I'll just be careful in how I say this. It depends on the officer and who they want to pull over. Let's just say it that way.
Well, on the speed limit,
he probably could have made a little more revenue with the truckers, probably so. But the funny thing after I got the ticket is my car wouldn't refire.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Well, I just put headers on it.
Yeah.
And I neglected to put a heat shield around
Starter
the starter and
got hot.
solenoid.
Yeah.
And so he had to push start me to get me going again.
Oh, man.
Insult to injury. Yeah.
He was kind enough to do, but
Yeah.
Yeah, kind enough to do it, but you just took money out of your pocket.
You're right.
He did, yeah. So anyway.
Okay. Yeah, good story. Appreciate it.
Thought it was unjustified.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that one. Gary, appreciate the phone call very much. We got one line open, 303-477-5600. Eric, welcome to Drive Radio. What's going on today?
I got a Trailblazer with a 4.2 inline six.
Okay.
I was wondering if there is a unique problem to that engine as far as the oil pressure and that stupid variable valve solenoid.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. And it's usually lack of maintenance. In a lot of cases, what we'll find when those fail, they'll be plugged with, some type of debris, usually. And when you get that out, it's usually circulated through the oil system and plugged the screen in that and caused it to cause that variable valve.
What Ken's really saying is lack of good oil changes is what causes that.
Yeah.
Because I bought it after about 2 months, and there was a little bit of clattering, but one day it all happened in one day.
Got it. And how many miles did it have on it when you bought it?
148.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, somebody using a conventional oil, not changing it, or, just not a
cheap filters, conventional oil, too long on changes.
Yeah. A lot of different
all of the above in 140,000 miles before you.
What would happen if you gut the valve and reinstall it?
Well, it just depends on how long it takes to plug up again. We've done that before. I mean, it's really the only thing you can do. Put another valve in it and keep the oil changed and put a good filter on it. And that
so you can clean it up.
Yeah, that can help. It's one of those things that, yes, it could happen again. Is it going to? You just never know.
I tore the filter apart. It did have contamination in it, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Would that be a concern?
That screen is about the size of a pencil eraser, and it's really small, so it doesn't take much
to plug up.
Right, exactly. So probably I wouldn't be concerned with what was in the filter, but I would just be sure and run a good filter and good
synthetic oil.
Synthetic oil, yeah.
All right. I have a $400 ticket with a Class 3 misdemeanor.
Oh, my word. What happened, Eric?
Semi. I was running during a nice wet snowstorm from Utah to Triple Creek delivering a load of ammonium nitrate. And after I delivered and then made it to Monument Port, the two of the placards came off.
In the snowstorm.
The hazmat? Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they got you, even though you're empty, they got you for not having placards.
Well, actually, there were placards there underneath it. I had called the same product, but Cheyenne, which is a different placard number, but it's the same product.
Got it.
So I had 2 and 2. I mean, the guy literally jumped over the counter and got a 6'2" nose and my 5'4" nose and told me this was going to be expensive.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just that. Those are, in my opinion, you guys know where I come from on this, and Eric, I'm on your side of the fence. Those are revenue generating tickets only. There's not one thing they did that would have changed the safety of the roads.
Yeah.
No.
None.
The response in the emergency guide is exactly the same, which is the purpose of the placard in the first place.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, that is a revenue generating ticket only. I saw CDOT up on 287 the other day, sitting across from the hospital there from there at 287 and 42, and they've got every commercial truck out there. They're yanking them over. So any commercial business, I should say, they're yanking the guys over, writing tickets, pulling, impounding vehicles, whatever. I mean, you can always see it. It's just a line of people there. And I'm thinking, yet every passenger car out there just gets to whiz on by, no big deal, because they're going to collect revenue from you and not collect it from the rest of them.
Right.
That's how it works. It's not fair, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
Keep it up, man. Keep going, Eric. Appreciate your call. Let's go to Kevin, who's up next, and Elizabeth. You know what? Tell you what, real quick. Let's do this. Kevin, hang with me. Don't go away. We're up against a break. You've got a vibration question that's not going to go quickly. So hang tight. We'll come right back to you. We got a couple lines open. 303-477-5600. What's the worst traffic ticket you ever received that you really did not deserve? In fact, Eric, the last one, $400, he didn't deserve that. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. Drive Radio, John Rush, Ken Rackley, KLZ 560.
Today's cars and trucks are very complicated and can be expensive to repair. At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we can help you to understand the complex nature of repairs. We specialize in computer repairs. Maybe you have tried another shop and you still have the same problem. Let our highly experienced technicians at Arvada West Auto help you. Call 303-422-1065 or stop by and see us at Arvada West Auto and Truck, 11752 West 64th Avenue in West Arvada. Or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com, 303-422-1065.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind Warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
When you step on the accelerator, you have but one expectation, that your car accelerates. If that's not happening, you might have a transmission problem, and you definitely have a safety issue. Call Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair, because that little hesitation between gears might not seem like a big deal, but if you need to take evasive action and your car hesitates just a little bit, it could spell disaster. Most of the transmission jobs Larry's Automotive encounters require only minor repairs and not a complete overhaul. So if the cost of transmission work has you concerned, don't be. What should concern you is safety. Call Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair and schedule your special attention KLZ 560 appointment today. 303-427-2108. That's 303-427-2108.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right parts store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Ken Rackley's also with us. Got an email just a moment ago that I want to share because I think this is good. It says, John, I listen to your shows, enjoy them very much. So plural, both shows. Just wanted to say thanks for giving me the pleasure of listening to AM radio without commercials that focus on men's issues, firming things up, hair gel, hormone replacement, snake oil sales, etc. I'm to the point where the second one of those comes on another station, I hit the button to get me away from them ASAP. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm going to pass that along to station management, and we will let them know the exact same thing. So, Kevin, welcome from Elizabeth. What's going on with your Dodge, or your Ram, I should say?
I am a little frustrated, but we'll make it through it.
Okay.
So, picked up a Dodge the other day. It's 2005, and everything on it's fine. You know, it's got a decent amount of power and everything. But what the problem is when I'm at a standstill and I go to take off, I have a vibration kind of like comes from underneath in the rear. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
I got up underneath there, kind of looking around, kind of pulling on stuff. You know, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
When does it do that vibration? Is it when the vehicle is only hot? Does it do it when it's cold? Is it worse hot? Explain some of that if you can.
Hot, cold, doesn't matter. Snowing doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know, that's irrelevant because it's done it consistently since March. That's when I picked up the truck. You know, I thought maybe it's kind of got a little bit of a lift on it. And so I thought maybe there was something, you know, to do with the drive shaft coming down at too much of an angle.
Probably
and I'm
is.
trying to join.
Yeah,
Something
probably
like
is.
that.
It probably is. You probably have helped diagnose your own problem there.
It's only got a 2-inch body lift on the front, though, just a leveling kit. That's the only thing that I can think of.
Okay, so
Was
they only
enough?
did a leveling on the front, nothing in the rear.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the only,
And let me back up. What engine and powertrain combination does the truck have?
Powertrain, I don't know. It's a 5.7 Harrier.
Okay, so it's a 5.7 auto or stick?
Automatic.
Auto. So it's a 5.7 auto. Here's another question for you. Do you know if it has a positive traction differential in it or not? Limited slip differential or not?
I don't know. Honestly, I just got it, and I don't know much about the new Dodges.
That'd be one of the first things I think I would look at is see if there'll be a tag on it that'll tell you to use a special fluid, a conditioner in the fluid. There should be a tag right on the rear differential itself. It bolts on. It will tell you that. If it does, the first thing I think I would do before I did anything else is service the differential, put the right fluid and the right additive in it, and see if it does anything.
Okay.
See if it changes it at all.
Yeah, and I mean, shaking U-joints, sometimes that doesn't say anything. A lot of times you have to pull them out and feel them.
That's right. Pull them out of the saddle and actually look at them.
And make sure they articulate just like they should, front and rear, because
sometimes they can be tight but still have rough spots in them that will still cause a vibration.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question real quick, if you guys don't mind. When I start the truck, only when it's cold, I hear a small tick that sounds like it's coming from the exhaust manifold. So it sounds like if I get out and I open up the hood, I don't hear it up on top of the engine.
Coming out from down below.
But I hear it in the cab, kind of in the center console underneath where the four-wheel drive shifter is.
Yep.
Yeah, you might want to just try tightening all the manifold bolts, make sure none of them are broken. The 5.7 wasn't real common for that, but
they did.
Dodge in general.
They can do that. Yes, I know where Ken's going because they can. They can break and so be careful not to over tighten them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And if they're not moving, that may be part of your problem because if they're not moving and they've gotten seized and they're loose, you're not going to be able to tighten them up without actually extracting those bolts and getting the right bolts back in it and regasking it and so on.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they're I don't want to say they're notorious for that, but they do have problems with that.
Yeah.
What kind of trucks do you run, John, with your company?
Anymore, mostly all Dodges. I've got a few Chevys that I'm running. I've stopped buying Fords, especially on the diesel side of the fence.
Yeah,
I still have some older Ford. I run trucks until they just flat won't run anymore. So I still have some old 5.4s that we're running. But most of the new stuff I'm buying are Dodges.
Yeah. And do you have an issue with the new Cummins, or you still like it?
Nope. I've got 5 of those right now, and they all work very, very well. And and my Duramaxes do too. I can't complain about the Duramaxes. The difference in the two trucks, as most people know, is the turning radius on the Dodge pushing snow is way better than it is on the Chevy.
Way better. Yeah.
But the transmission on the Chevy, I will have to say, is by and far, it is way better than any of the other trucks out there as far as the transmission goes.
If we could build our own truck, right?
If I could have the Cummins engine and the Allison, actually, I have a dump truck that I actually have a Ford 650 with a Cummins, the 6.7 Cummins, and the Allison transmission behind it, and that thing works out fantastic.
I bet you keep that one just for yourself.
That one probably will never get. That probably will never get sold. We'll probably own that one forever.
Right. Mixture of all three.
That truck works really, really well.
Have to reset the odometer after you turn it.
With me, we just keep trucks because of the plowing side of the fence. I hardly ever sell a truck until it's 25 plus years old because I just run. We maintain them and run them until they just won't run anymore.
No, those old, plus the front suspension of the Dodges are the best for plowing snow. At least that's my opinion.
I would agree with that. But my oldest plow truck is a 78 Jimmy, which I'm going to retire because the truck's actually getting worth more restored as a 78, Jimmy than it actually is as a plow truck. So then my next one above that is an 81. So my oldest plow truck is an 81.
Actually, they're tanks too, and they do the job just fine.
Yep, they work fine. They work great. Yeah. So.
Okay, one more quick question. Sure. If you guys don't mind, this one's real quick.
Go ahead, you're
fine. Caller called chipped windshield, cracked windshield. Is that really a citation?
Yes.
And where does it crack anywhere?
Anywhere. Yeah. If they want to get nitpicky, technically speaking, they shouldn't bother you if it's only in the driver's, if in other words, if it's only cracked on the passenger side, they really should be a little lenient on that and not bother you. But I've had them write us up as a commercial, commercial operator, they'll write you up if there's a crack anywhere in it.
Yeah, if they want to pull you over, that gives them a reason.
That's right,
and that's what they're.
My recommendation is if it's cracked anywhere, replace it, because to Ken's point, if they want to pull you over for it, they can.
It just gives them one reason.
Totally. Because my windshield just cracked on me on that last cold snap. I had a little chip.
Yeah.
And it just took right off on me.
No, I would get it fixed because they can pull you over for it.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well,
All right, Kevin.
Appreciate it. You guys keep it up. We'll call
Appreciate
back.
it, man. Good phone call, by the way. Lots of great questions. I really appreciate that very much. Let's go to Jim in Centennial, who's up next. Jim, welcome to Drive Radio.
Mr. Rush, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling, Jim.
Hey, got a question about some tire pressures. I just bought a 2015 Tacoma, and I immediately swapped out the highway tires they put on that and the wheels with the LT BF Goodwrench all-terrain TAs.
Got it.
Do I need to increase the tire pressure with those, and what should I be running it at?
I'd run them a little bit higher. Now, this opinion's going to, you're going to get the same, or let me rephrase this. You're going to get as many opinions as there are actually people out there that will give you. Now, personally speaking, and I've been in that industry for so long, I would start out probably in the 40 to 45 pound range and just see how they wear. If they wear good, on an LT tire, you're probably okay at 40 pounds. You might be able to get by with 35, but I think 35 is a little light for that particular tire.
Okay.
So I would start at about 40. See how they wear. If they're wearing good, nice, even, flat across the top, and on those BFGs, that's really easy to see. If it's good and flat and everything's wearing well, leave it alone. If you see any cupping, any way, shape, or form, inside or outside, adjust pressures accordingly.
Okay. And do you know if that TPSM system will account for that? If I pop them up to 40?
You should be okay. They allow you pretty much about 5 PSI. You should be okay with that. Ken's shaking his head.
Yeah, as long as you're above also.
You're typically
and
okay.
Not different. Yeah, and the tires aren't different.
But would it, like right now, when they put them on, they set my pressures at 36 on those tires.
Right.
So if I pop them up to 40 or 45.
40 you won't have any trouble with.
Yeah.
45 you might have if you start getting a little high there. And the other thing is you can adjust front to rear. You've got a lot more weight in the front of that truck than you do the back. You may want to run the fronts at 42 and the back at 38 or 39 and still get about that 40 between the two.
Well, my question with the monitors is, will they only notify me when it drops below
Correct.
36?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So they're kind of set down at that low.
That's right. Yeah, they're set to come on at really too low of a pressure to tell you you've got a problem. That the whole reason those are there. So everybody listening, here's a little history lesson. This is really good, and everybody bear with me. But the reason we have TPMS systems today is because of all of the Firestone Ford Explorer accidents we had way back when. That's why that's here today.
People not checking their tire
pressures. Not checking tire pressures, having problems. Those Explorers rolled over. Lots of people got sued, killed. All different things happened. They then instituted this tire pressure monitoring system. Mandated it, basically. Same thing's happening right now with with backup cameras that are now mandated on every 2016 vehicle. Roughly 50 kids get ran over in the United States of America every single week. So somebody out there, some politician, thinks that by putting backup cameras in every single vehicle, we're going to lower that number. I don't think we're going to, but they're going to try.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just need to just be a little bit more on top of my tire pressures and not really rely on those TPSM systems.
And you know what? Here's the, Jim, you just said it all. If everybody would have done that over the years, you wouldn't have it today.
You're right. Exactly.
It wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Same thing with this backup camera thing. If we had personal responsibility, people would walk around the back of the vehicle to see what's there before they back up. You wouldn't need a backup camera, and they wouldn't be mandated and raise the price of cars in 2016.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Jim. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it very, very much. Great comments. Let's go to John in Centennial. Line open, by the way, 303-477-5600. John in Centennial, what's going on?
Hi, love your show. Try to listen to it as often as I can.
Thank you, John.
Both your shows.
Appreciate it.
Got a question. Had a 2004 Honda Civic CRV all-wheel drive.
Okay.
And my front end got out of alignment, so I need to replace a couple of front tires. Back tires are still good. I've gone to a couple of the big national brand places, and they're telling me I have to replace all four because the tread depth isn't going to be the same. What's the real scoop on this?
They're correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because all 4 tires should spin at the same speed, and if you've got some that are half inch different or a quarter inch different, it's really going to take its toll on the all-wheel drive system on that.
The circumference is a big deal, and this is something that, quite frankly, they were the big national guys are actually. I don't want to poke them in the eye or anything, but they're a little bit behind in this. What I mean by that is I was telling people this. We had 4-wheel drive stores. I had 2 of them. I operated for many, many years. We told people this clear back when all-wheel drive didn't even exist. It was just 4-wheel drive vehicles. We were telling people that years and years and years ago. So what they're saying on all-wheel drive is very true.
Okay, so even if you went with the same exact tire,
and here's how you can check it. Take a seamstress tape, because it's the easiest way to measure them. So, or a piece of string, but a seamstress tape is really easy. All the measurement markings are there. You can measure your current tire, walk over to a new tire. Keep in mind, it's not aired up, so it won't be exactly the same until it's aired up. But even then, you could measure both of them with that seamstress tape. I'll bet they're a half inch different from your old to your new.
Right.
Okay.
That's why they recommend doing all 4.
Yep.
We would have vehicles.
Package cheaper to replace the tires than.
It's way cheaper to do tires than drivetrain. But just as an example, I can remember back in the day when all-wheel drive systems were kind of first coming into play, and the Ford Explorers had an all-wheel drive system. Those boogers, if you had a tire that was even off by 3/8 of an inch, it would be enough to give you problems on that particular vehicle.
Yep. Yeah, like turning corners, you feel it bind, and just all kinds of weird stuff.
And I've seen over the years, transfer cases completely destroyed over people running one set of tires on the rear and another set on the front, and then engaging in 4-wheel drive. And it'll go for a while, but then eventually the transfer case is the weakest link in the whole system, and that's what gives. The tires are stronger than the transfer case.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for the great explanation and how to check it and all this stuff.
No problem, John. Appreciate it very much. That's why we're here. Lines open. 303-477-5600 Drive Radio. We've got another segment left of this hour, and then one more hour coming up right after that. So give us a call. We'll get you right on air, and we'll be right back. John Rush, Ken Rackley, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-align belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
Your wheel alignment can affect tire wear and fuel mileage that will cost you more for repairs and fuel. Arvada West uses state-of-the-art 3D imaging to align all 4 wheels of your vehicle. Be aware that irregular tire wear could also cause the need for additional alignment parts. Stop in or call us for our alignment special. Mention this ad and we'll inspect your vehicle and check your alignment starting at $69.95. Call Arvada West Auto at 303-422-1065. Stop by 11752 West 64th Avenue or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Ken Rackley from TuneTech. And I was just telling Ken through the break there that I've been doing this for so long that I remember back in the day when you used to actually get in a 4-wheel drive, and before you put it in 4-wheel drive, you had to turn the hubs in.
Oh.
And I can remember, countless vehicles that, the guy would come in and it'd have a hub blown up. And you'd think, oh, no big deal, just put a hub on it. Well, I always taught my guys, myself even included, that you better measure all the tires first before you just go throw a hub on it, because sometimes those tires being off just a little bit were enough to actually blow the hub out.
Yep.
And so I taught the guys taught my technicians really early on that, first thing you do before you even go putting a hub on it is let's measure all the tires, make sure everything's good to go, because otherwise you said end up with and on those, that was the weakest link, were the hubs.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
The hubs were weaker than the back then we had big cast iron transfer cases.
Exactly.
And, the good old days.
Right.
They weren't really all that good.
Everything weighed 15,000 pounds. And
All right, John and Englewood, actually. John and Englewood, welcome. What's going on today?
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to tell your listeners out there a little bit. People complain about insurance rates being so high on cars, and safety features cost insurance companies more money. I'll give you a good example. The new mandate that you talked about is rear view cameras on cars. You go to a body shop, that old bumper would cost you $2,500.
That's right.
But now with the built-in camera and everything like that, it's going to cost $3,500 to replace.
Sure.
So the insurance companies are going to charge more money for the car, and that's why people, how come they cost so much money, for insurance? Because all the safety features cost more money replacing
No, you're right.
cars.
No, in fact, in this case, now what we're going to end up with is every car is going to have a backup camera. So when you get a rear-end collision, now you've got an eye and there's just additional pieces, parts, wiring, etc. that you're going to deal with now that you didn't deal with before. That's going to raise the price.
Yeah, that bumper is going to cost you $1,000 more.
That's right.
So the insurance company's got to cover that.
That's right. No, you're right.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
thanks.
Great point. I appreciate it very much. You just solidifying what we've been saying, that these things are great, but where I come from on them is, if you want to buy it as a consumer, great. Manufacturers can offer it. We're doing that today. They offer the backup camera system. If you want to buy it, great. If you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
TPMS, on the other hand, that's not an option.
No.
It's mandated. In fact, in 2016, backup cameras will be mandated. If you import and sell a car here as a manufacturer, import, make, manufacture, whatever, you're not going to have a choice but to put that on that vehicle. It's a mandate. It's a law.
Yep.
You're not going to have a choice.
Yep.
And I look at it and think, even when it comes to tire pressure, I can check my own tire pressure. I don't need that. Now, am I going to buy it? It depends on the price.
Sure. Yeah.
If it's a low enough price, I might.
And is it going to work? Because
that's the other problem, because most of them
don't work.
Most of them are junk.
Yeah, right.
Don't get me started on that.
Exactly,
Even these new. So I drive a new car almost every week. Those of you listening for any length of time know that. Which, by the way, you can find all those reviews. Drive-radio.com. There's a link to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/driveradio. All of them are listed. We do a great video review on them. Yeah, we're amateurs. We're not professionals, but we go through the cars pretty thoroughly. We do a short review and a long review. The long reviews typically are anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. I can't do that here on air. There's no way I can take a 15-minute segment and do a new car review. So we do it online. You can do it. You can watch them all on YouTube. My point is with this, Ken, I drive all those different new cars. And even last week, so drove a RAV4, which, by the way, the new RAV4 works great, 4-cylinder engine. I got almost 30 miles to the gallon with that car, plenty of room, great vehicle, works fantastic. But we get on that little cold snap. Guess what comes on?
Yeah, imagine that.
TPMS.
Yeah, low tire.
So even a brand new 2015 vehicle.
No different than they were back in 2002 when they came out, or
hasn't
whenever.
Changed.
Yeah.
Has not changed.
Yeah.
So, and I still, out of all the new cars I drive, if there's one thing I could say is consistent across all brands, because this was a Toyota, keep in mind, which is high quality.
Sure.
But I can see that on GM cars. I can see it on Chrysler. I can see it on Toyota. I can see it on pretty much everything out there.
Yeah.
If the temperature changes enough, and one of those might just be on the cusp of not quite having enough pressure.
Right.
It only takes a half a pound or so.
You're right.
And it
Exactly.
puts the light up.
Goes from on or off.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Drive it for 10 minutes, goes out, warms up a little bit. Yeah.
Like a toggle switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that particular vehicle, as soon as we got a little warmer temperatures, everything raised up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was in good shape.
Yeah.
So my point is, even on brand new cars, that TPMS system can still be a problem. So to Ken's point, it'd be one thing if you can buy it as an option, it's foolproof.
Yeah. Is it reliable?
Like a lot of them are, like AC. Typically speaking, most cars today, you push the AC button and it works.
Yeah. exactly.
Comes right on. Turn the wipers on, it works.
That's right.
I mean, I can go down the list. You know, there's a lot of things that they just work.
You hit the remote or hit the key fob, it opens. Yeah. Hey,
TPMS, not so much.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, that the backup camera systems will they will be more reliable than the TPMS system.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a camera.
It's nothing to it. Yeah, exactly.
It's a switch that's running some electricity, through wherever they put the actual viewer, the viewfinder.
Yeah.
But the camera itself is stationary. It just sits and off you go.
Yeah.
I will say this was pretty cool the other day. I drove a new Volkswagen Golf.
Okay.
Only vehicle I've ever seen that does this. The VW Golf actually hides the camera in the VW emblem.
Oh, okay.
And when you put the car in reverse, the emblem tilts up just enough to expose the camera.
I'll be darned.
The cool part about it is the camera is always clean.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's actually ingenious the way they did it. It's hidden. It's not in the way.
Yeah.
Now, as our last caller pointed out, will it raise the price of fixing that car? Absolutely. It will.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is cool the way they've hidden it, because you never, no matter what was, and I happened to drive that car in a week where we had a lot of the rain and snow and things like that. Camera was never dirty.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Really,
I mean, that's
really
one
a
thing that
slick
I've
idea.
noticed. Yeah, some of the cars that I get into,
They get really dirty.
Yeah, you can't
even see.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And but that adds more to the initial fixture and things like that.
My
So
point
it's-
is, we're putting them in to save lives. Yet I don't know all the stats, but I'm just going off of what common sense would tell me. If the back window is super, super dirty and the backup camera is super, super dirty, you're not seeing very well anyways. And my gut feeling is you wouldn't have seen very well without the backup camera. And I'm guessing that a lot of the accidents that they're trying to prevent probably happen in the circumstances I just mentioned, where a backup camera, unless it's on the Golf, where it's always clean, probably won't do the trick, because it won't be clear enough to really see what's going on anyways.
Right.
So food for thought.
One, with me, every car that I get, I don't have any cars with the backup camera, but the ones that I get into, I don't pay attention to.
I don't either.
For one, maybe I don't know they're there or whatever.
Because you're so used to driving the other way.
You're right, exactly. And look at the mirrors, look at everything around you, and yeah,
That's exactly right. No, great point. All right, Keith in Roxborough, you're up next. What's going on today?
How you doing, guys?
Doing great, Keith.
Great. Well, evidently it's a chronic issue, judging by some forums that I've been reading on 0405-ish and on up through there. Dodge Durangos, there's some type of servo motor that engages and disengages the four-wheel drive.
Yes.
Well, ours is automatically locked in four-wheel drive despite the selector dial just being an all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Dodges, Chrysler, etc., Fiat, whoever they're owned by this year, are really not doing anything about it. Everybody's saying, you're going to have to comment with the National Transportation Highway Safety Commission Board, whatever it's called. But until then, the common temporary cure is to disconnect the wiring harness going into there. And obviously that'll still leave the four-wheel drive light on, which some people say they're fine with that. And obviously it disengages the four-wheel drive, so you're not going to have that, but you still have...
Yeah, or the other option is fix it and put that motor in it and call it good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because just unplugging it's not going to make it disengage the four-wheel drive. It'll still stay whatever position it was when you unplugged it.
Okay.
Yeah, unplugging it doesn't fix the problem.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't temporary bypass it.
No, the only way to really fix it is to put a new servo motor on it.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's not a uncommon problem on automatic four-wheel drive vehicles. We were dinking with those things when Ford was one of the first ones to come out with a automatic type transfer case where they used a push button type transfer case, I should say. We had problems with those back in the early 90s. So it's not really unique to that Durango. Anything that's got an electronic servo motor on it can be a problem.
Okay. And the majority of people were commenting that Chrysler's really, or the mechanics aren't sure what you're telling them when you're, describing it to them. People are taking in copies of the post, so it's more descriptive for those who aren't mechanically inclined. And,
so the technicians aren't able to fix when you go in and say, hey, it's stuck in four-wheel drive, it won't come out?
Yeah, they're doing something different. Some people are spending, $600. Some people are upwards of $1,100. And it wasn't the exact cure. So we got it scheduled to go on Monday over to Eagle Automotive. Obviously, one of the other NAPA certified mechanics.
Oh, sure.
So we'll troubleshoot it from there.
See what they have to
I
say.
figure over the weekend I would unplug it. That way, it's not.
Yeah, it's not changing
the wheel
anything.
hop on my wife.
Yeah, it's not changing
Yeah, it
anything.
wouldn't.
It still will. That won't change anything.
What now? If I pump up, is there a vacuum line going through that where I could pump it up? It would disengage?
I can't remember how they engage
Not
that
really.
differential. I don't think so. I think it's all in the T case on that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, fellas.
You're very
All
welcome.
right.
Appreciate you calling in very much. All right. Got a line calling in. Couple lines open. 1 hour left of Drive Radio, so call us. We'll get you right on air, 303-477-5600. And I'll do my best to still get to some of the used car buying tips. If I don't get to all of them, I will table that, and I'll get to some next week because we've had tons of calls, which is fine. We're here to take your calls, 303-477-5600. John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for the highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business. So Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Randy Corcoran here. This time I really mean it. This year's keynote speaker for the Adams County Lincoln Dinner, former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino, back on the morning show. We'll check on the weekend fallout over the complete lack of integrity of George Corrupt a Lot of Us, or as Dr. Jerobe Corsi said on the show, George Step on All of Us. Oh man, we're having fun on Twitter with that. Follow me on Twitter at Randy Corcoran. Like us on Facebook at Wake Up with Randy Corcoran. And join the Music Man, Woody Lawrence, and me, 5 to 8 a.m. on your best place to talk in the city, KLZ 560.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Join me weekdays from noon to 1 for Haystack Help Radio. We'll help with consumer problems, give you quality business referrals, let you know about the latest scams, and we'll also give great help for seniors. Weekdays, noon to 1 for Haystack Help Radio. Check out our website, haystackhelpradio.com.
Freedom, liberty, truth. KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Kay Long. A top ISIS commander dead after an overnight raid by U.S. Special Operations Forces in eastern Syria. The National Security Council saying President Obama orders the operation approved by Iraq. The ISIS commander killed is Abu Sayyaf, the man in charge of the terrorist group's oil and gas operations. Major General James Spider Marks calling his death a huge blow to ISIS.
Clearly, this was worth the effort because of the value that he provides in terms of intelligence and all of the financial aspects of how ISIS gets its money, uses its money, sources of money, and how they then distribute those funds.
Sources say Sayyaf resists capture by U.S. Special Forces and is killed. Sayyaf's wife captured. She's taken to Iraq for questioning. No U.S. troops hurt in that raid. It's a death sentence for the Boston Marathon terrorist bomber. The Blaze Radio's Tom Peace.
Today, the jury has spoken, and Johar Tsarnaev will pay with his life for his crimes.
U.S. Attorney Carmen Ortiz says the jury doesn't buy the argument that Johar Tsarnaev acts under the influence of his older brother.
The defendant was an adult who came to believe in an ideology of hate. And he expressed those beliefs by killing, maiming, and mutilating innocent Americans on Patriots' Day.
Many of those directly affected by the terrorist bombing speaking out about the verdict. Bombing victim Karen Broussard thanking the jury.
I want to let them know that I will and my family will be praying for them and for them to heal through all of this.
First responder Michael Ward not mincing words when describing his feelings.
Well, he's going to go to hell. That's where he wanted to go, but he's going to get there quicker than he thought.
The Amtrak train derailing in Philadelphia earlier this week may have been hit by something before the crash. NTSB lead investigator Robert Sumwalt saying one of the train's conductors talking about the train being struck by an object before it jumps the tracks. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560 Denver.
Chris Cook, weeknights at 6 on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter of a mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, last hour Drive Radio. It's 12:05 in the afternoon. If it's Sunday, it's 1:05. If it's Sunday, don't call us because we won't answer because we're not here. But if it's Saturday, call us because we are.
Because it is Saturday.
That's right.
That's
because
right.
It is Saturday. We've got two lines open. 303-477-5600 is our phone number. Ken Rackley from TuneTech is with me. He's out in the Aurora area. And you can find all of our fantastic sponsors, Colorado Select facilities, you name it. They're all on our website, drive-radio.com.
Hunting down that.
And that's a commercial from Napa that was just about to play there that Terrence was slipping in on me there. Napa is one of our great sponsors, K&N Engineering. You can find all of our guys, again, all of our sponsors at drive-radio.com. Some new sponsors I need to mention real quick. Tilden Car Care. They've got a location at 606 Peoria Street and 4912 South Federal Boulevard. They also both are listed on drive-radio.com. And then up in Boulder, Keeter's Truck and Auto Repair. They're at 6379 Valmont Road. Their phone number, 303-442-2131. And then lastly, I need to also mention Phoenix Weaponry, not car guys. Well, shouldn't say that. They are car guys, but they build guns too.
Oh, okay.
They got a machine shop. They build guns, do some things. Aaron, the owner over there, he's a big car guy, loves cars, does a lot of stuff. Actually was a customer of mine in Boulder for years, which I didn't know till I met him the other day. Used to come in and buy parts from me. And they're at 1840 Skyway Drive, Unit A in Longmont. The phone number, 720-340-2496. And what I need to mention is they'll build you just about anything you want when it comes to a weapon. Now, they really specialize in building AR-15, lowers, so that they'll do the entire thing from, beginning to end. Here's the cool thing. You can buy a pretty customized AR-15 with all the good stuff on it for under $1,000. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You'll pay close to that for a not so high quality AR-15 from a gun shop, Walmart, whatever, from a regular manufacturer. So you'll get a lot higher end pieces from them. And the other thing they'll do is if you've got a gun that's not shooting right, so say you've got a 45, a Colt that's not 1911 that's not quite feeding correctly, or you've got a problem along those lines. Guess what? They'll do gunsmithing also. So anything you've got, take it over there. Phoenix Weaponry. Tell them you listen to Drive Radio. You heard them there. And they'll take care of you. 720-340-2496 or phoenixweaponry.com. Mac in Fort Collins, you're up next. What's going on? Hello, Mac.
Hello. Hey, Matt. This is Mac.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
Oh, not too bad. I'm actually Fort Morgan. That's why I didn't.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah. Hey, I got a 98 Cadillac.
Okay.
I also had a 97 at one time. And both of them have terrible shock problems.
Okay.
So the 98 is a DeVille Concours. It's only got 80,000 miles on it, and it just ride's terrible. I'm also getting a alarm for service. I guess it's stability.
All right, or the ride control. Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking to replace those shocks. I've kind of looked into having a Cadillac dealer do it, and it's just cost prohibitive. It's more the car's worth, actually.
Yeah, it actually is. Yep.
So, what's the suggestions on an aftermarket shock? You know, and if I don't do it myself, I wonder what the cost would be to have somebody else do it.
Well, the biggest thing on that, and I was trying to look this up real quick, is finding the replacement shocks. They're made. They're out there. And just for real quick look online, depending upon where you buy them at, it looks like they're around, and I got to figure out whether this is actually a pair or a single, but around $275 or so. And then that is a pair. So you online can buy replacements for about $275, and you'd have to have them installed.
Okay. Which brand would that be? What would I look for?
You know what? I can't tell. These. Let's see. What's it say? It's a R-Not, and that is not a brand I'm familiar with. So that's not I would not consider that a name brand, but they do make them. It's R-Not, ARNOTT. And I don't know if Napa. I don't think Napa actually has a replacement for that, or do they, Ken?
That's what I'm looking up.
So we'll look real quick. If Napa's got replacements, I would highly recommend using what Napa's got, if in fact they have a replacement. But the last time I looked, and it's been a while, but the last time I looked, I don't think they did. I think they had everything but the air.
Actually, they do. They show the R-Not also.
Oh, so okay, so they show the same brand. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're available.
Okay, so Napa sells that same brand, that same R-Not, which I would not buy those online unless you absolutely have to.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I deal with Central Auto, and it's Napa in Fort Morgan.
Okay. Yeah, I would have them go through Napa. You've got a better warranty and everything doing it that way than you would, buying them online and having them installed. And you'll save a ton of money that way over. I mean, I heard at one point in time those were around $1,500 or so just for the parts from Cadillac.
Yeah, and it depends on, because some of those use the electromagnetic and things like that, and they're not really specifying here which. Some of these are showing to resistor to bypass electronic ride, and then those are the less pricey ones. So there's,
it looks like the ones with some of the other functionality around $350 or so. Again, somebody needs to look at your car, find out exactly what options on it, and then get the right shocks ordered. But I'm guessing, you really ought to be able to do that job for under $1,000
in the front.
I'm doing them myself.
If you did them yourself, it'd be way less than that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look at doing it myself too. But,
yeah.
My guess is that they're an error for shock or with
yes
electronics. So we're gonna probably have to do something with that resistor.
Yeah, I'm looking at a set that comes with the valves, the plug, everything on it, and they're around $320.
Okay, so it's like a kit.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a kit. They're just two replacement shocks with everything on the shock you need to replace it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're they're in a complete airbag / shock. They're really not an air shock. They're actually a shock with a bag around it.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the best way to describe it.
And are those the rears or the fronts? Are you because the ones I'm seeing for the front are look more strut-ish, without the spring. Okay.
These are rears.
Yeah, and the ones for the fronts are more, you have to swap the springs and stuff.
Correct.
Like that.
That's exactly
I'll probably
right.
do all the way around.
Yeah, the front ones, to Ken's point, if you did the front struts, it's the same type of deal. They're just a strut instead of a shock.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, is there somebody you would recommend to install them, or?
Well, you're up in the Fort Morgan area. Your closest is probably going to be Ken out here in Aurora, who's on with me right now.
Okay. And
give me your phone number, Ken.
Yeah, let me give you my phone number. It's 303-364-3391.
Okay.
All right.
He's as close as anybody and can do that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What was that?
I can do it myself. I've done it in the past. I'm
sure.
It's a little harder crawling underneath cars than it used to be.
Yeah. I can understand that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll get with the Napa dealer here also, and then if I did it with Ken, you would buy all the parts also?
Yeah, we could do that too. Yep.
And Ken would give you warranty and all that on it too. That's the other plus he's got that, not saying everybody else wouldn't, but Ken would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look down both paths and see what
Sounds
the
great.
cost difference
Appreciate
is
it very
and
much,
how
Mac.
bad I want to crawl underneath the car.
Sounds great. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate it very much. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. When I come back, I've got a text message that came in from a listener, actually a friend of mine, who's got a story on the ticket. So our question of the day, and we can finish out this hour with this, is what's the worst speeding ticket or ticket in general? It doesn't have to be speeding ticket. What's the worst ticket you've ever received that you really didn't deserve? And some would say, well, you always deserve them. Well, no, not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes, for whatever reason, you may have been picked out of the crowd for who knows why. Larry's story is he was picked out of the crowd out of state because he probably had a Colorado plate nobody else did. That's why he got picked out of the 6 or 7 people all doing the same speed.
Yep. Yeah.
And got a ticket. And I would tell Larry that, I think that's unfair. Now, everybody else would say, well, you're all speeding. You all need one. Well, okay, well, why him in the middle of the pack versus the guy that's in the nose?
Yeah.
That's in the front.
Or in the back.
Or the tail end guy.
You're right, exactly.
Why single him out in the middle? Because he had a Colorado plate and he was in some other state.
Yeah.
Texas or someplace like that.
Yep. They're going to pay you have to pay the fine. You're not going to show up to court. You're
Correct.
not. Yeah, exactly.
That is a guaranteed revenue generator.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why he got pulled over. So, all right, we'll be back. Don't go away. John Rush Drive Radio along with Ken Rackley, can't talk, KLZ 560.
Hunting down that hard-to-find part for an out-of-the-ordinary car can be quite a time-consuming chore. Unless, of course, you just go around the corner to your local Napa Auto Parts store, where we have over 310,000 parts, all of them made to fit and perform just like the original. Yeah, there are people who say it's the journey and not the destination, but those people have never tried to find an alternator for an 82 Fiat on a Saturday. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind Warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Fold and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
Arvada West Auto wants to help you get the best fuel mileage you can. Approximately 3.5 million gallons of gas a day are lost due to underinflated tires. There are many things we can do to help you boost your fuel mileage, and most of it comes down to basic maintenance. No one likes to spend money on unplanned repairs. Let Arvada West Auto and Truck do what they do best. Keep your vehicles running at peak performance. From tune-ups to wheel alignments, they've got you covered with a 3-year or 36,000-mile warranty on most cars. On the web, visit ArvadaWestAutoandTruck.com or call 303-422-1065. Arvada West Auto and Truck, where every question is important. Located on West 64th Avenue between Ward Road and Sims.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation instructions so you can easily replace your old filter, usually in 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the air inside your car clean and fresh without continually burying and throwing away disposable filters. Find the K&N washable cabin air filter for your car or truck at knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com.
All right, John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560. What's the worst ticket you ever received that you really didn't deserve? So here's a story from Dan, good friend of mine. And this one is almost shocking, so bear with me through the story. He says, I'm in a car, can't call in right now because he's out doing some things. I get that. So the worst traffic ticket I ever got was on I-25 downtown Denver during morning rush hour. Traffic is either stopped or moving between 20 and 25 miles per hour. I'm switching lanes to exit. I notice about 3 Denver police cars over on the right shoulder. All of a sudden, one of them flips on his lights, comes after me at a whopping 25 miles an hour and pulls me over for tailgating. At the same time, another officer goes after another car. I was ticketed for tailgating a commercial vehicle. We were barely moving. I couldn't believe it, he says. It was over a $200 fine, and I think it was 2 or 4 points. I went to court to fight it. They had an automatic plea bargain deal set up. If I pled guilty, it would be 0 points and about half the dollar fine. Talk about a revenue-generating scam. It would have cost me more to fight it than it was worth at that point, so I pled guilty, paid it, but it still burns me. Yeah, it would burn me too. That's a bunch of garbage.
Yep.
Sorry. And I don't really care if anybody out there is in that end of the business, i.e. policemen listening. That's garbage.
Yeah.
That's a revenue-generating scam, plain and simple. And you guys have heard me enough during the week and on the weekends to say, I respect our police officers, love them dearly. They do a job I would not want to do. I don't want to get shot back at. But there's a lot of revenue-generating officers out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the cities, unfortunately, and I shouldn't say officers because the cities really dictate all this.
Yeah, I was going to say,
the officers are following orders.
Required to
so
do,
it's really not even, I really shouldn't even pin this on them because it's the city councils and other folks that are actually mandating what they go out and do. But it is a huge revenue generator for a lot of cities. Not saying that's good, bad, or otherwise, but that's what it's used for.
Yeah.
So, couple lines open, 303-477-5600. Randy has a ticket story for us. Randy, what's going on?
Oh, I got a ticket story. I was listening to your others there. And this, I swear this actually happened several years ago. I was going east on I-70 to Pena Boulevard. I was trying to switch lanes to get over to exit. And there's a car coming up in the right lane next to me, and he's really moving. So I'm going to wait on him to pass me and then switch lanes. All of a sudden, he slows way down. And I'm like, I didn't realize what he was doing. So I thought, well, okay, I got to get over. So I get over, switch lanes, boom, radar van sitting right there. Guess whose picture?
Yours.
Yeah.
I got the thing in the mail. I thought, are you kidding me?
Oh, man.
And I swear, I did not deserve that. But, it was a simple mail-in fine. I thought, I don't want to deal with it. I just sent the money in.
Yeah, and I recommend everybody don't do that. But, each one of you can do what you want. But until they personally serve you, it's a $60 gamble.
Well, this was way back when this was still a fairly new thing.
Got it.
Radar vans.
Sure.
I was kind of scared.
It. Didn't know the difference. Yeah.
And the guy, obviously, he saw it, and I didn't. And that's why he slowed down.
That's why he slammed on the brakes.
Yeah. But I still had to get over an exit, so boom, there it was. So anyway.
And Randy, appreciate the phone call. Very, very great story. And my recommendation still to this day is, unless you get served, don't pay it. I got a little story of my own to say on that. And that just triggered something in my brain. I just remembered. So as a commercial fleet operator, I've got lots of people out driving around doing different things. So occasionally, one of those drivers will get a ticket, red light, camera, speeding, whatever. Most of the time it's a red light camera, and most of the time it's at one of two intersections that I won't name which city it's in, but typically it's at one or two intersections that whenever they come, I can almost tell you what intersection it's going to be because it's a crummy. It's short,
a half a second yellow,
it is a setup if there ever was one. Well, for the longest time we paid them. And then after doing this show and talking to Kevin Flesh and some other attorneys, we finally decided we're not paying them anymore. So we stopped paying them as a company. We don't pay them anymore. So the other day, they actually tried to serve us with this particular red light camera violation with one of my employees. And I wasn't there. I happened to be out of town. I think this was a couple weeks ago when I was on vacation. So they actually showed up. They had tried to come to the house and serve me. Had a little note on the door, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, come serve me all you want. You're not going to serve me because the guy driving doesn't live here. So have fun.
Right.
Well, they showed up at my business trying to serve this particular individual. Same answer, though. You know what? If you can find him out of all the people floating around here, more power to you, but I'm not helping you. So my point being, You don't have to pay those unless they personally serve you. If you're a commercial operator, don't pay them ever. Let them come find the driver because they can't serve you if you're not the driver. They can look at the picture and say, oh, okay, well, that's not you. It's pretty simple. So don't pay it, any of you, unless you're served. And that's a $60 gamble at that point. But I just wouldn't pay it. So to me, the governor needs to sign those things away because it's a revenue generator, period. That's all it is. And I had the auditor for the city of Denver on Rush to Reason, my weekly show, a while back, who he himself, the city auditor of Denver, came on my show and basically said they are nothing more than a revenue generator. They've done nothing to reduce safety, and I can prove it, and I'm the auditor. So there you have it.
Yeah.
It's just a revenue generating scam. That's all it is. Terry in Arvada, welcome.
You know, a state patrolman stopped a couple of nuns on I-25 for going too slow, way too slow.
Okay.
So he questions her and the driver. She says, well, it says 25. And he says, no, ma'am, that's the highway number. And he looks over at the passenger nun, and she's trembling, really trembling. And he says, ma'am, is everything okay? And she says, we just got off of 119. See ya.
Good story. Good story, Terry. Even Terrence is laughing at that one. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. All right. We'll take some more stories. Anything you want to share with us, any car question you've got, troubles, lights, you don't know when to change oil, or how often to change oil, or what type of oil to use. We've got about a half an hour left of Drive Radio. We'll take anything at all you want to call us on, 303-477-5600. I will mention real quick a couple of tips on buying cars. It's that time of year. Ken was just talking about your youngest daughter. Going to be driving. Now, he's already got a car for her, but that happens. And in a lot of cases, Ken, and I think it's a good recommendation, you don't need to go out and buy your kid a brand new car.
No.
In fact,
and you're best off not, because they're going to be taking that car into an area where nobody's been driving for more than 6 months, and so it's going to get beat up.
Good
and
point.
It's going to be,
Good point.
It's going to hang out with all the
other ones.
That's right.
So here's the first thing: identify the car you want.
Yeah.
And probably the car you need is what I should say. Sometimes it's a want, but really identify the car you need. And then start searching. Now, you can use Isaac Bouchard, our broker. I'll give you his number real quick. It's 303-475-1462. Once it's bought and you need insurance, call Paul Leuenberger, our insurance guy, at 303-619-9891. And both of those guys will save you money and help you out and really make life painless for you. But identify the car you want or need. Start the search. But here's the real caveat to that. Be careful where you search. I'll talk about that in just a second. We'll get Bob in Littleton up next. Bob, welcome.
Yeah, how many second gear stops have you ever made in your lifetime?
How many what, Bob?
Second gear stops.
Second gear stops, a lot.
You remember those days?
Yes.
To roll through the California stop.
I got one. I was at Arapahoe University making a right turn, and I had the green light, or it turned. I guess it turned red on me, but the cross traffic hadn't started yet. And if I didn't go, I'd be sitting there for a long line of cars.
Right.
And so I figured, okay, let's not waste gas and go. Well, I didn't stop long enough. And sure enough, in my peripheral vision, I saw a Arapahoe sheriff sitting there, first car at Cross Street. And he nailed me, that I didn't stop long enough at the signal.
Right.
But, it was a typical second gear stop, and it was a choice of, well, do I want to sit there and wait for all that traffic to go by, or, well, it's safe, nobody's in my way, I can just go make the right turn and be gone on my way. But no, it didn't work that way. So
Yep.
It happens.
Yes, it does. Hey, Bob, appreciate the phone call very much. Mohammed, you were just there. I was going to get the phone from you, or get the phone real quick after Bob. Call me back. We'll take a quick break. I'll get you up right next, 303-477-5600. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Drive Radio, John Rush, your host, along with Ken Rackley from TuneTech, KLZ 560.
At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we won't try to impress you with a waiting room with a big screen TV and lattes. What we will do is give you good service and expert repair. We pride ourselves in being interested in you and your vehicle. We stand behind our work with the power of Napa Auto Care and a 3-year or 36,000-mile warranty. And if needed, we do have a customer waiting area. Come see us at Arvada West Auto for all your repair needs. We are located at 11752 West 64th Avenue in West Arvada, or call 303-422-1065 for an appointment.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-align belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Ken Rackley from TuneTech over in Aurora, just off of Colfax and I-225, right to the east of I-225 on Colfax. Phil and Cheyenne, what's going on?
I drive down a country van right now for my business, and I'm thinking about buying a newer one, new if not almost new.
Okay.
And I've been told that the oil filters on those are the canister type drop-in. And I was wondering...
On the newer ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering if K&N is going to come out with a drop-in filter that can be cleaned and then put back in for the oil like they do the air.
If they, I doubt it.
Yeah.
If they do one, it'll be a high-end filter that you'll still take out, throw away, and put a new one in. I don't think K&N, to my knowledge, has no... they've got nothing in the works on cleanable oil filters.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. Their oil filters don't run all that much in the first place, and you're best off just there's, I guess, probably too much chance of error in something like that.
Yeah, it's people leaving solvent behind, things like that. I just don't see them ever doing that.
Okay. And then another question is, Chrysler has extended warranty you can buy now with unlimited, what's called lifetime.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I wouldn't spend the money on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I for what you would spend the money on that, either in additional payments on the car, or if you just took that lump sum money, I would do one of two things. Either take the additional money each month you would have normally paid for that and put it in a bank account, or take the $2,500 that they'll charge you for that in the first place and put it in a bank account. And I would venture to guess that at the end of the life of that car, you know, if they would have even covered some of those things under warranty, you'll have that money in the bank.
Yeah.
If you maintain the vehicle properly, which I know you well enough to know you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm I figured I'd run about 200,000 before I get rid of one.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no, and knowing you've called in enough. I know enough of your history and how you do things. You won't have any problems. I wouldn't spend the money on it.
okay, all right.
Okay.
I got a little story to tell you. I went into Gillette, Wyoming one morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I hauled bodies for Donor Alliance, and I had one in the back, and I was picking up another, and it was covered. I have a cover that I put on them, and I didn't see the speed limit drop, and officer pulled me over and walked up there with his flashlight shining in the back of the car, and he said, "There's someone hiding back there?" I said, "No, there's someone back there, but they're not hiding." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "They're dead." And he said, "Thank you, sir. Slow down."
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got to ask, Phil, how did you end up with that job?
Well, I worked in the funeral business in Cheyenne for almost 38 years.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to do something, didn't want to totally retire. So I started a transport business, and I transport for funeral homes and for Donor Alliance.
Got it.
And I run a lot of miles. I've run almost 50,000 already for this year. So
Wow. And running around with a dead body in the back just doesn't bother you any.
Oh, no. Dead people won't hurt you.
That's
They
a
might
fact.
cause you to hurt. They might cause you to hurt yourself, but they won't hurt you.
No, and I'm kind of like you. It's like, once they're dead, they're dead. There's really nothing going to bother you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, good point. Hey, appreciate it, Phil, very much. Thanks for the story. That was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Let's go to Rod in Denver. Rod, top the last story.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Not a bad ticket. This is kind of a funny one more than anything else on me. I was, in my younger days, about 3 or 4 decades ago, I was in Denver, got in an argument with my date, and proceeded to leave the bar. I was on South Broadway, south of I-25, and unbeknownst to me, there was a cop behind me, and I was only doing 55 and a 35, and I ran 2 red lights. then I hit I-25, and he was doing 110, and I left him. He couldn't catch me.
Oh, boy.
The only reason why he caught me was I slowed down to do the speed limit. He figured I was probably doing about 135, and did I mention I also had alcohol? It was 48 points.
Oh, my word.
Huh.
And I got free lodging that night.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
But he was really nice. I was nice to him. He was nice to me. And at 8 o'clock that morning, about 6 hours later, as the clock was striking 12, down on the city civic building, I was already out. He had done all the paperwork. He had stayed late, done all the paperwork, got me out at 8 o'clock sharp. I still got to work on time. And when it came time to go before the judge, I just threw myself on the mercy of the court. Said, I'm going to school at night, paying my way, working labor during the day. I have no money. I'm flat broke. You can have my car, whatever. He said, well, tell you what, I'll suspend 40 points and charge you with 8 so I can still get a 4-point ticket and still keep my license.
Got it.
And he said, and I'll fine you $40 and I'll suspend 10 if you take the drunk drivers
got it.
or
The
whatever
class,
it is.
yeah.
He said, by the way, how are you going to pay your attorney? I said, I don't know. I don't have any money to pay him either. So my attorney gave me a break and charged me $250. And by the time all was said and done, it was 8 points and less than $300. And he said, I don't want to see you again.
I was just going to
No
say,
problem.
count your blessings on that one and don't ever go back.
I promised you. I said, you won't see me again. I'm
That's
done.
right.
So the rest of the story, did you ever do that again?
No.
Good.
No.
Good. Good story.
That's when I learned me and alcohol don't mix.
Yep. Good for you, Rod. Good story, man. Appreciate that very much. Great story. Let's go to Henry, who's up next. Henry, welcome.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Henry.
I had got a speeding ticket. It was a few years ago coming in. I was going I-25 south here coming into Denver, and between 84th and 56th, there's a hill there, and it goes from 65 to 55, and the motorcycle cops are normally on the side at the bottom of the hill. And I was in the center lane, and I just came back from Wyoming, so I was always slowing down for the speed limit. But 2 cars, one on the right and one on the left, passed me going over the hill, and they were both going about 15 mile an hour faster. And the motorcycle cop picked me out, said it was me. I said, man, there's no way. There was 2 cars on each side of me going way faster. And he said, well, you can tell to the judge. But so I called it in, and I had to pay $150. and it was supposed to be no points, but then they ended up giving me the points anyway, and I never could get that reduced, and it ended up making my insurance go up.
Great. And I'm assuming you had Wyoming license plates.
No, it was in a rental car.
Oh.
But I'm not sure. I can't remember whether it was a Colorado. I know when I get a rental car, I always hate getting a rental car with California plates because I always figure that's going to be good for a ticket.
See, that's the problem I have with a lot of these press cars I drive is they've got all sorts of different plates depending upon where they come from. Michigan, California, Indiana, depends upon, where the headquarters is. Sometimes it's Tennessee. And I always am really, really careful around the law, especially if you see one, because those out-of-state plates, I think, are just kind of an automatic, let's get that guy over here because he won't fight it as bad.
Right.
Well, and probably other states worse now with Colorado. It's like, let's.
Well, there was actually, speaking of what Ken just said, there was an article, I believe, in yesterday's paper, yesterday's news, where somebody was going through, was it Wyoming or Nebraska? They pull a guy over, check the vehicle out. Turns out he's got an air compressor in the back of the vehicle, but it's really not an air compressor. It's just a big, huge, empty cavity full of pot. Coming from Colorado. So
great.
Needless to say, I think he's probably in the big house this morning.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah.
Kansas loves the new pot law. They put a lot of people over there.
Yes, they do.
Confiscate it.
Yep. Them, Wyoming, Nebraska, Utah. Yeah. All of our neighboring states do not like us right now.
Yeah.
Which tells you also, this is kind of a side note, Henry, those of you that travel out of state with Colorado plates, be careful and watch what you're doing because I think they're really looking for out-of-state plates in those areas because of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. So be careful.
Well, thank you.
Good story, Henry. Appreciate it very much. We got lines open. Call us. We'll get you right on air. 303-477-5600. So here's an email that came in. I did get a ticket. I can't talk. I did get a ticket, but you get a laugh out of this one. I had a county sheriff pass me going the other way. He flipped around, pulled me over, and said that he pulled me over because he saw the seatbelt buckle, so he assumed I was not wearing my seatbelt. The funny part is, I drive a right-hand drive vehicle. He saw the seatbelt buckle, but didn't notice there was nobody in that seat. Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to yank you over because I saw the seatbelt buckle, but wait a minute. What about the guy that wasn't in the driver's seat?
Yeah, exactly. Huh. Yeah.
How do you explain that one? As an officer.
I just saw the buckle. Yeah. So
I just saw the buckle, but there was nobody driving. He needs to get together with the guy, with our last caller, Phil, with the Town and Country, and the cadavers, and put that guy in the front seat.
There you go. Yep. Exactly.
Strap him in, see how that works. Let's see, does that pass for, we should get Phil to call back in. So if you put the dead guy in the passenger seat and buckle him in, can you use the HOV lane?
They'd have a hard time proving it wasn't.
Terrence is laughing at me. we have actually, where I have my office in Lafayette, we have one of the largest mannequin manufacturing plants in the country right next door. Yeah. So I watch these guys build all these mannequins. I keep thinking, I'm going to go over there, get one of those mannequins. Actually, now I'll need 2 of them because the US 36 corridor, you're going to need 3 people to not pay a HOV toll. But I need 2 mannequins, all dressed up, ready to go.
Yeah,
they're pretty real looking. So I need them where they, I need them with different, looking different ways where I could put them in the front seat. My luck, I'd get pulled over and then be in the slammer for violating the HOV lane laws or whatever they call those things. But
right.
Terrence is looking at me like, John, you're crazy, man. What are you talking about? Mannequins, HOV lanes. For the trouble it would take to put them all in and buckle them in, it'd be worth it. It'd be worse than hauling kids around.
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
You'd have to make sure they stay upright and
they look legit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are stories of people actually doing what I just said and then getting nailed for it, and it's not a cheap ticket.
But when it's trash bags and things like that with a shirt on, that
doesn't quite work so well.
Yeah.
Mannequin, all I need is the upper torso. I only need the upper part.
That's right. Yeah,
I just need a legless mannequin.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll take more calls. Anything at all you want to talk about. We've got 1 segment left, Drive Radio. I will give you a few more tips on used cars, buying, selling. And what got me going on this was I had a guy actually come by my office earlier in the week with a snowplow truck that he thought maybe I'd be interested in buying. So I get the truck in, do a little bit of a pre-purchase on it. And everything underneath, the truck really looks pretty decent. It's got a little bit of body damage on the side, but not bad. And it's worth the price he's asking or so I thought, until I drive it. Which goes to show you I should always drive first, rack it second.
Yeah.
So I drive it, and this thing's got one dead hole. I mean, it will not fire on all 8 cylinders for nothing. And I'm thinking, this is odd. And he had put spark plugs and done some other things in it, and I'm like, okay, this is not right. So I actually got him to leave the vehicle with me. We actually took him back to his house. We kept the vehicle for a little bit, and first thing I did was a compression test. It's 5.4 Ford. 1 cylinder, 50 pounds.
Yep.
So the moral of this story is that's why you do a pre-purchase, not a post-purchase.
Yep, exactly.
Never do the inspection after you buy the car. I'll talk about why in just a second.
You've got the vehicle now, and you've got a bad engine. It's not going to pass emissions. Blah blah blah.
It's a pail of worms.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right. So we'll come back. Don't go away. One segment left. Drive Radio. It's 12:45 in the afternoon. John Rush, Ken Rackley, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the part you need. Or even worse, you don't know what part you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
This is Tilden Total Car Care. Our goal is to help as many people as we can, as fast as we can.
It's never a good day when you have to go to the auto repair shop. And the guys at Tilden get that.
It is a bad day. You go into the repair shop, that's not a good day.
You feel helpless. You don't know what's wrong. You have no idea how expensive those repairs might be, or even if they're necessary.
They're saying words you've never heard, and you're not even sure if they're real.
Tilden Total Car Care has an entirely different approach. They view themselves as customer advocates. Every Tilden employee has the authority to do what's necessary to make you happy. They find a way that they can save you money without compromising quality, they'll do it. Tilden vows never to sell you work you don't need. And every car they touch gets a complimentary safety inspection.
Do we need to fix it? Can we fix it? Is it worth fixing? And what's the best way to go about doing that? So we do the full inspection because you came into our shop. You honored us with your business. We're going to do everything we can to make that as good of an experience as it could possibly be. It's pretty fun.
Tilden Total Car Care. Federal at Bellevue or at 6th and Peoria.
It's a lot of fun.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
Your car's AC is not going to fail on a nice day. Your car's AC will fail when you need it most, on the hottest, most miserable day of the year. You can take your chances and maybe it'll get you through the summer, but why risk it? Call Larry's Automotive and have their ASE certified technicians check your AC system to make sure you have a full charge of coolant without any leaks. If you do need repairs, it'll be better to have the work done now by a Colorado Select shop that you know you can trust to get it done right. So don't wait until you have hot air blowing in your face when it's 100 degrees outside. Stay cool. Call Larry's today and make an appointment. 303-427-2108. That number again is 303-427-2108. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair.
All right, Drive Radio. John Rush, your host. Ken Rackley from TuneTech, and Kevin Flesh just walked in, who's actually one of my partners on Rush to Reason and does a lot with Sportsman's of Colorado. Actually does something there not every week, but you're there quite a bit, aren't you?
Quite a bit, yeah. The winter is always a little tough.
Turn your mic up there. There we go, Terrence. Try that again.
It's a little tough during the winter because one of my daughters is on ski team up in the mountains, so we're up there. So I call in every once in a while. But this time of year, because my real interest is the fishing in Colorado, and so I really help the show with that. And that's what we're talking about this week is all the varied conditions throughout the state relating to the fishing.
Which there's a bunch right now.
Oh my gosh,
because of our weather.
So much stuff going on. Yeah, and we're right on the edge of getting rivers blown out. There's still some pretty good fishing. We'll have Austin Parr on right away on the show talking about Chatfield. Chatfield Reservoir right now is up 12 feet.
Wow, that's
really.
And so all the fish that you'd normally be fishing on humps and things in the middle of the lake, they're all up in those cottonwoods.
Really?
And they're fishing them basically like flipping bass.
Really?
And catching big walleyes and smallies in the trees.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, we've got a jam-packed show talking about all sorts of fishing throughout the Rocky Mountain region.
All right, so while Kevin's here, I thought this is perfect timing. We've been talking tickets, speeding, all sorts of things. So I got a couple of legal things that I want to make sure everybody's clear on. So I was going to talk a lot more about used cars, and I just haven't gotten time to get into all of that. But one thing while Kevin walked in that I was just thinking of that I want to make sure I cover. The number one reason in the state of Colorado you want to have a pre-purchase inspection done on your vehicle is because whether you buy private party or whether you buy from a dealer, when you buy that car, it's yours.
Yes. As is, no warranties.
It's not going back to the person that sold it, period.
If you buy it and it breaks in half when you turn the corner, you own both halves.
If it catches, if you're pulling out of the lot and it catches on fire, if you pull out of the lot and the transmission, you name it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference. The minute you sign those papers, it's your car.
Yes.
Right, Kevin?
Very much so. The only way that you can get out of those deals is straight up fraud.
Right.
And
if
it
they
is so.
knew there was something wrong, knowing to them, and they were trying to, just be illegal in the way they had attempted to sell the car. But let's face it, Kevin, that doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't. It very rarely happens. And I get a lot of calls of folks think, well, lemon law. Lemon law
doesn't apply to used cars.
No, it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
And so people are always calling me about that. And it's always, listen, what did you know about the car when you bought it? You know, it's as is, no warranties. And and then a lot of times they'll say, well, they told me these things. And again, you've got to have it in writing. And it's got to be, well, what does the agreement say? And all of the agreements.
In a contractual writing, not some yellow legal pad the salesman was jotting on. I mean, whatever you want done on that car. So they owe you detail.
Yeah.
You better have that in writing that they owe you the detail, or they owe you a transmission flush. Whatever the case may be, it has to be in right now. I'm talking buying from a dealer. If you buy from a private party, good luck. You're done.
As you said, you get the two pieces of it if it comes apart down the road.
If that car had been a collision type car, for example, which this happens.
Yeah.
Somebody in their backyard has, body shop, whatever, and they've pieced the thing together, and you've now decided to buy this car. You've not done a pre-purchase, and maybe they took two halves and put them together. Yeah. And by the way, that's possible.
That happens. Yeah,
it happens.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You own it.
Yeah.
It's your car.
Absolutely.
It's a done deal. Now, one thing I did want to talk about today, and this is good timing that you're here, Kevin, a couple of things that you should look at if you're buying a car not from a dealer. You want to have the car inspected, of course, and you want to do that no matter what, dealer or not. And I've always said that if the dealer or the private party you're wanting to buy the vehicle from will not allow you to get the vehicle inspected, run away.
Keep looking.
Very simple.
Go look somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's your number one red flag not to buy that vehicle.
That's exactly right.
If you decide after a pre-purchase that, hey, this vehicle checks out, I think I'm going to buy it, and it's a private party, a few things you need to be careful of. First of all, you want to make sure the title is verified clean. What I mean by that is make sure it's not some copy, make sure that it's in hand, make sure you can verify it with somebody that knows what titles look like, that it is a good, clean title. In other words, if there was a lien on it, has it been released? Is it released properly where you're not going to have any problem going down to the clerk and recorder and getting that recorded, getting a new title for it? You also want a bill of sale.
You sure do.
Okay, you really do. And why, Kevin?
Well, because if something does go sideways, I've had situations where the person doesn't do a good search on the title, and it ends up the person that's selling it isn't actually the owner.
Because they jumped title.
Yeah, and that's a mess.
So let's talk about that for a second. So Kevin brought up a great point. people don't, when I say jump title, they're thinking jump title. What in the world does that mean? Okay, what that means is I buy a car from Ken. He's got it on Craigslist. I go out, I'm John. I go out and I buy the car from Ken. And maybe it's a pretty good deal, so I do a little bit of work to it, and I'm going to flip it over and sell it. Well, it's signed over to me, but I never put my name and address in the title. Ken has signed off on it. So it's at that point, it's what we call an open title.
Yes.
It's not been moved to the next party. Odometer statement is there. It's all handled. That's all good. Then Kevin comes along and wants to buy the car from John. So what I do is, as John, the owner, I never put my ownership into that title. I just give it to Kevin, say, Kevin, here's your car.
Right.
Now, without a bill of sale from John, Kevin's got nothing if there's something wrong with that title.
Correct. And in fact, the bill of sale, when I get it from John, I may have issues if Jerry isn't aware of the fact that John has the car.
That's exactly. So if Ken hasn't really properly filled out my name and everything, which that's why when you sell it, you really want to make sure you fill out the title work properly.
Yeah.
So that the next guy can't jump title. Because that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I would venture to guess that right now, somewhere, somebody's jumping title as we speak.
The safest thing is to go down to DMV with them.
That's right. The clerk and recorder, actually.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
Clerk and recorder.
So go to the clerk and recorder with, or the next thing you can do, and this is something typically, if you have a good banking relationship with your bank, they will also help you with this. Especially, and by the way, if it has a lien on the vehicle, you definitely want to do it at the bank. Because you want to make sure that the lien gets released properly, that it's going to go into your name properly. Now, some people want to skate around all of that because you can potentially save some sales tax and so on and so forth. But for the headache that you have to go through to try to do all of that, it's not worth it. So be really careful. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to these type of transactions, whether you're selling or buying, but especially selling, never, ever, ever accept a cashier's check for the sale of your car.
Right.
Cash only.
Because they can be fraudulent.
Yep.
And go to the bank.
And even cash. You better know cash.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Because there's counterfeit running around also. Last thing you want to do is sign over your car you've bought, paid for, you own it free and clear. Because here's the deal. The minute that car leaves you and you've signed the title over, all you've got is the cash you're hanging on to, or that bad cashier's check you just accepted.
Yeah.
Right, Kevin? Am I right?
You are. And we've seen this with the internet scams recently too. All these Craigslist and everything else, these vehicles that, matter of fact, I represented a guy a few years ago that bought some farming equipment. He thought he was buying it and did exactly that. There was no farming equipment, but he sent them about $25,000.
Oh my God.
Wired it and never got the equipment.
Wow.
So it's always, I mean, it's, as much as you conservatively, what you want to do is a hand-to-hand deal, and then title you don't actually give possession of that vehicle until the funds are secured and that you can get everything taken care of relating to the title work.
Yeah, and Kevin just brought up a great point, and I was going to mention this. It's actually in my notes. Out-of-state transactions, those are a no-no.
Yeah.
Just don't do them. Unless unless it's a family member, it's somebody that you really have close contact with. If you need to sell a vehicle out of state, contact Isaac Bouchard, our local broker. Have him help you with all of that if need be, because working through a dealer, it safens a lot of that up, is what I'm trying to get at. So if you've got a transaction like that where you need to go out of state with it, you can. Just remember, though, when you do that, there's going to be fees associated. It's not going to be it's just not an even across the board deal. You're going to have a cost involved in it. Make sense, guys?
Oh, yeah.
But it's safer and it's much more something that's, you just don't want to take that risk.
Okay, so we had a caller that called in earlier. This question I was going to ask Kevin. So we had a caller call in earlier. We've got a minute or so left. From Florida. We were talking about tickets today.
Yep.
And he had some sort of a situation in Florida where he's got an attorney for the company that he works for that basically handles all the tickets for them.
Yes.
Is that something that's available in Colorado, or how does that work?
Sure. We represent a number of commercial entities that get commercial tickets and just regular tickets. They'll call up and we'll take care of those tickets for them.
Okay.
So they're on the road truck drivers or commercial drivers that live in another state, but they get tickets here. We can do a lot of those things either over the mail or electronically with the different courts throughout Colorado. And then we as the law firm will represent those individuals, and that person doesn't have to appear.
Okay. So even if you live in the state, you could probably do the same thing. So if you're a busy guy, you don't really have time to dink with all of that. And or if it's a ticket that maybe has got some I don't want to say weirdness to it, but let's say there's some extenuating circumstances and you need some legal representation, you can handle all of that?
Yep. Our firm does it all the time.
So give out your number.
Yep. 303-806-8886. That's Flesh Law. And you can find us on the web at criminallawfleshlaw.com.
Criminallawfleshlaw.com.
You got it.
Right. And or just listen to our weekly show. Kevin is on that from time to time, and all of his ads run during the week on Rush to Reason. And I appreciate it. I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I thought, hey, this is a great time. I knew you were coming in. It was a great topic. It worked out perfect. You're here.
Yeah, and you were giving great advice earlier about all of the tickets, the red light tickets and all of those photo. It's really interesting. The governor clearly wants the revenue stream for the municipalities.
Yes, he does.
Because that's the only reason that they're doing it.
That's exactly right. All right, with that, we got to get out of here. Ken Rackley, Tune Tech, thanks so much for coming.
Always good
Appreciate
to be here,
It's always great. Enjoy having you. Give out your number one more time.
303-364-3391.
All right. Charlie, on the other side of the glass, who helped us do all the engineering, and Terrence was in from time to time also. Larry Unger from Larry's Automotive over in the Westminster area. Thanks so much also. With that, we're going to be out of here. I will be back Monday on Rush to Reason at 3 p.m. God bless you. Sportsman of Colorado is up next. Don't go away. KLZ 560.
Cause when you're standing oh so near, I kinda lose my mind. It's not the perfume that you wear.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments.